Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Vox Jed Fight About It. And today we've got another guest on today. Today we've got SakuraRadio, I think is your current full username. Either way, welcome to the podcast. It's episode 35.
And your full legal
How are you doing today?
Is
Yeah.
your social security number we have here in our notes for the show. We do a lot of research. But no, how are you doing?
Vox
Welcome
does
in.
all the research.
My God, imagine you just sit down on a big hot seat and they're like, okay, so we know your social security number. You cannot run and you will be answering these questions.
Yeah. Don't try to go home.
Yeah.
We have your home address and the home addresses of all known associates.
Oh, man. But, yeah, how are you doing
circling
today?
as we speak. After the helicopter
I'm doing good. I managed to get jump
man.
scared by my Amber, or actually Red Alert weather warning. That was a fun time. I've never heard that in my
wow.
life.
Oh, yeah?
Huh.
Yeah, no, it's been weird weather over here.
Yeah.
We're getting like storms and snow and like I don't know how much you keep up with meteorology, but it's
I
not
don't.
good when the west half of your country is on fire and the east half
Yeah.
is covered in snow. It's not a good look. It's pretty
It's actually
concerning,
kind of
actually.
disastrous.
Oh,
It was
man,
like- it was
global warming is a
cold.
hell of a thing, huh?
UK at least, this is kind of normal-ish. Like, don't get me wrong, it's obviously the storm is a bit worse than usual. 100 miles per hour is not something to giggle about, but
No.
it's kind of normal that Scotland and Northern Ireland will have this big ass storm, and the rest of England will be like, "Oh, that's funny," and then like 2 weeks later they'll have a flooding and be like, "Oh, it's not funny anymore."
No.
That's how it felt with the East Coast when it caught fire. I think it was like 2 years ago now, but like in
The East
Canada and
Coast caught
stuff.
fire? Oh, Canada, the Canadian wildfires,
yeah, Canada
right.
and like
The Great Canadian
And, like,
Wildfires, a normal historical event, and definitely not like a line from Star Trek
Yeah.
or some shit. You know?
Yeah, no,
the
but like
Great
it
Canadian
affected the
wildfire,
East
you were saying?
Coast, and everybody went from like, haha, California's on fire to, oh, we can't see our skies today. And that was as a West Coaster, it was a little bit funny to see. However, I did feel bad.
Yeah. I don't know.
But, yeah.
Even the West Coast was making light of the West Coast fires. Mostly just for those poor
Yeah.
people who like I say those poor people, but those poor people who like couldn't afford to move or can't move or relocate in time and like
Mhm.
chose to like just rebuild where they were at. Like wasn't there that lady on the news who like she could totally afford to move, but she elected, like, this is an outlier case, of course, but I think about it a lot because it's kind of funny to imagine this lady like, oh, my house burned down. Surely that won't happen again. Let me rally the community and get them to build me a new
that
house.
was Florida hurricane.
Oh no, my house burned down. No, the hurricane lady's a different lady, but she also.
Oh my
does
god,
that.
we have different ladies.
There's
Yeah.
one on each coast, dude. It's like the Avengers.
Like, I feel like this is the most American conversation ever, because like at one point I have a friend who lives in Florida, and obviously the whole shit was going down, and I was like, please leave, like please just leave, I don't care, like be somewhere safe. And I'm like, that's alright, actually. I mean,
That's
I've
not
got
a
enough
big deal.
torches and stuff, it won't be a big deal. I was like, torches against a tornado? I don't think he cares about your light, man. I think he cares about taking your roof. Like,
You'd be shocked. It's a thing here where like the weatherman is a fearmonger, I tell you, because every single bit of rain that comes through, and believe me, there's a lot of rain. Anything that even has like the lightest amount of wind, they're talking about go to your local stores, stock up, hang out in a bunker if you have one, you know? They're just like all over the board
Yeah.
about it. And so when a really actually big storm comes through and they're talking about it the same way, it can get a little like, oh, it'll be all right. I'll be fine. And shockingly, most of Florida was fine. I mean, Tampa got hit pretty
Yeah.
hard, but not nearly as hard as they expected. The real shocker was like the Carolinas getting a lot of it when that's like way north of Florida and way out of the way. And like by all rights, it totally should have fizzled out to just like a tropical storm by then. you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Storm, I wish was more of the tropical size. Instead, we're getting the whole cold front fucking area of it, and it's just gonna be great fun. It's just like, oh yeah, so your cell power lines and everything might go out, but that's okay. Like, who needs to text these days?
Yeah.
Oh man,
we don't get like natural
like
disasters.
That was the first time we missed an episode.
Yeah, I was gonna do it
Absolute
like
first
solo
time.
with Krim, and then Krim was like, "No, I don't. I would rather wait." I was like, "Oh, okay," which was probably best because it was gonna be scuffed anyway. But like,
real professional.
Oh man. Yeah, fucking phone notifications on our professional podcast.
I know my mic picked it up. I know my mic picked it up. My phone was like not
it barely
even like,
picked up.
My phone was closer to the mic than I was. I know for a fact that shit picked up. There's no way to mute them. They just come through whenever they want. TikTok has my phone hostage just for notifications. I keep it on vibrate, and it's the most like ear-piercing fucking boop boop noise you've ever heard in your life. It's terrible.
It is.
Whatever it is,
I
hate to complain about this. It's been months.
No, you're fine. I refuse to download TikTok. I feel like I'm the only person who is so brain rotted that I still haven't got TikTok. Like, I don't understand how I've done it.
You're like that like Japanese soldier they found on that like remote island who was still fighting World War II in like the 70s. Because he was so isolated.
I don't know how I've managed it. Like,
fighting a good fight.
My parents are all invested in TikTok now. My gran is invested in TikTok. They're all telling me I should download TikTok so they can send me these TikToks of these funny little monkeys hanging out. And I'm just sitting here like, no, I really don't want it because I know what's going to happen. I'm not going to sleep anymore. I'm going to scroll for TikTok instead of sleeping. And that's not a good thing.
Dude, man. I deleted TikTok when the TikTok ban happened, and then the TikTok ban like stopped happening, and TikTok like gave us our servers back, and it was still gone, and they probably aren't going to put it back in the App Store, so I'm just like TikTokless. So I've turned to like other things. It's like
he's watching men die on Instagram Reels.
Yeah, it's like somebody like running out of like fucking alcohol and going like, what else can I get to like relieve this? Cocaine? Sure. So now I'm on like fucking TikTok. And, like, sometimes I'll catch myself on, like, that Twitter thing where it's like if you click on a video and then you scroll up, it just starts you there. And I'll get stuck into it.
And
every single different, like...
Twitter videos like TikToks? That's how desperate you've gotten?
It's weird.
Accident at the factory over on Instagram Reels, and you've moved on to just watching Twitter videos?
I guess, yeah. But, like, it's one of those things where it's like... They're all very different. Twitter is so racist. YouTube is very gun heavy for me. I'm like looking at YouTube and like seeing nothing but guns.
Well, you're a gun guy. You watch gun content occasionally.
Yeah,
I'm a
my
decent
YouTube
amount of a
shorts
gun guy,
are like just anime goober stuff because they see the name Sakura and assume that I must be the biggest weep fucking going, and I must want to consume so much anime products. And it's even worse if I start listening to Miku for a week because they're like, oh, "See, we know them. Push even more anime stuff." But like, I've put down on Google that my gender is male, right? Because I hate getting force-fed like perfume ads mainly and stuff like that. It drives me crazy. Yeah. I don't want to see it. It's not interesting.
Cologne ads are worse. There are so many less cologne ads, but cologne ads are the worst because you get some obnoxious guy in your ear talking about like top notes and like.
At least if I get a cologne ad, I get a sexy man out of it and not a sexy woman. You know, like there's benefits to it.
I don't know. I get where you're coming from, but like I see a sexy man in the ad and then I go, wait, is that a fucking turtleneck? Is he wearing a black turtleneck? Get this guy out of here.
Okay, I like turtlenecks. I love turtlenecks. I love them so much.
Man.
I don't know. They just scream pretension to me. I don't know. I've never met a guy wearing a turtleneck who wasn't like those dogs in like that fucking, what is it called? That like Air Bud skiing movie.
Oh. Vox, you've seen photos of me. You've seen how like I've got a big neck, and like V-necks look like regular. I do. Imagine me in a turtleneck. I think I would be strangled. I think that would be really funny.
Dude.
Oh fuck! I took a sip of my drink, dude. I'm about to spit shit on my desk. Oh man.
This is a phenomenal guest episode. I can't believe it. We went from weather to like turtlenecks and like no, but like YouTube ads are insane. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy
Yeah.
the labels that social media will put on you. In their like
Since I have it
algorithms.
set to male, what they like doing to the anime community specifically, and I think it's because they think we're like any anime fan is just a degen at the end of the day, right? They just think, oh, this
Mhm.
poor guy, he's so single. They love sending me like Viagra pills and stuff like that, and I'm just sitting there like, please leave me alone. I'm just a
Viagra
I
ads?
just want
Getting
free,
ads for
I
like
just want
lock and
free.
load or something.
Oh, it's so
Fucking Blue
bad.
Chew.
It's terrible.
just
Oh,
like-
Blue
Oh,
Chew.
man.
Blue Chew is the way better reference there. I'm going for fucking
Yeah.
Lock and Load. Lock and Load is one of my favorite gag products in the world because it's like, it's all right. So it's a pill. I don't know if you're familiar, but I'll explain it for the
I'm
audience's
unfamiliar.
sake. It's a pill that you take that makes it so that when you finish, it's a big one and or flavored.
Oh.
Apparently, they're working on flavored ones, and that's already
Oh
funny.
my god.
That's
And
already
coloring?
funny on its
you
own.
can do coloring.
You can do coloring. Do they have the coloring ones out? They were talking about it. I don't know if they.
Oh
have
I
the
don't
my
coloring
know.
God.
I'm
ones
sure there are some that do that because we had
out. I
like
keep up with this.
we had a
comic.
long running bit.
I'm gonna be honest.
like,
If
in a
my
group.
partner were like getting it on, and then they finish in
Is
any
it
color
blue?
that is not supposed to be colored, like, we need to take this to the hospital. Holy shit!
It's
that's
like
not okay.
chroma key green.
Are you
like
keeping
the
Nickelodeon
most
slime in
vibrant
there?
green?
What in the fuck, dude? You can't just be sliming
Holy
me.
shit!
But no,
God
no,
damn.
that's already funny on its own. The idea of a guy taking that kind of a supplement is already kind of funny. The funniest part is that it's 9 pills a day. It's
What?
9
Holy
pills throughout
shit.
the day. You have to take them damn near hourly. You have to carry them around with you. And you
That's
have to
like
take them for like 2
chemo
weeks before they do
treatment
anything.
patient,
So you
like
have-
having to take that amount of pills. You have to like stop yourself in the middle of lunch and be like, "Hold on," and pull out your
They
like.
don't put you on that
fucking-
many pills on your fucking deathbed, dude.
I know.
It's
Holy
ridiculous.
hell.
But there's just some guy. I love that product so much. Not because I use it, but I love the mental image of just some guy out there walking around with like a pill bottle in his pocket and like popping it out, like a timer going off on his little Casio watch, and he stops it and pulls out a little bottle of pills and shakes one into his hand, covering the label, and the guy next to him goes, "What are those for?" And he just goes, chemo? He's got a head full of hair. Like, just some, like, a terrifically embarrassed guy just going about his business and doing that
Oh man.
for 2 weeks out. Dude, you have to do that for 2 weeks
That's so
before,
long.
like, they're
Like,
done. That's so much for so little.
Is it like a permanent upgrade, or how long does
No,
it
goes
last?
away. If you stop taking
Oh,
them for even a
shit.
day, it stops happening. It's ridiculous.
I thought it
You
was
have
like
to,
a 3-week treatment, and you're permanently a super soaker, dude.
No,
Damn.
no. From what I've heard, it's like more than one pill too. So there's like one pill out of one bottle you have to take like 3 times a day, and another one you have to take 5 because it's like different like supplements, like
God.
zinc and shit.
oh my
It's ridiculous.
God.
It's,
Oh yeah,
it's a
I know
whole
about that.
process. It's a whole fucking process,
Yeah.
and it like it just astonishes me that that's a real product that exists.
I don't think I could love someone enough to go through all that. Actually, that's too much effort.
Yeah, I don't know.
Too much effort.
I
Too
don't
many
know. That
pills.
is a lot. I agree with you. But no, yeah, I would feel shame. Normally, there are normal circumstances where I would feel shame having this conversation less than 20 minutes into the episode. Like somebody hit play and they're like on a train somewhere and they're listening to us talk about like cum pills, dude.
This is
But
what they
honestly-
expected, right? Content based, you know, they subscribe to an asexual person, and they only expect the worst kind of conversations to come out. I'm gonna be honest; it's always the asexual
yeah.
people you gotta watch.
Having asexuals around is
I don't-
great because Jed is ace. Jed is like openly
Yeah,
ace, and it's so
I'm, like,
interesting
very
to
ace
hear where
era.
he sits on like sex things, and it's just like he's so. I don't know how to say it. He's so like
I'm
oddly
engrossed into it.
fascinated of just like what do you put that in there? Why?
I need to figure it out so that I'm on the same playing
Like, he's
field. I'm
treating
at
it
a,
like
I'm
a
at a
puzzle
strict
he's solving.
disadvantage.
No, I kind of get it because, like, so when I'll talk about this tweet that will be banger for your podcast, but it's just gonna completely out myself to other people. But
Alright.
I'm like oblivious. I'm sexually repulsed. I've never looked up anything essentially. So every knowledge I get is of internet culture, which means I don't get very much, right? Everything is hidden behind doors. You have to really go look for that kind of culture, right? There was one point where there was a big like tweet going around, and one of my friends retweeted it, and it was a photo of an ice pop that was going, "How far can you go?" And my little brain was like, "Bro, you don't finish your lollipops? The fuck is going wrong in America, bro? You don't just lick that all up?" And my friends were going crazy over that comment. That's hilarious, right? That's so funny. But instead of telling me what's going on, they just replied with, "Oh, Sakura. Oh, you dumb little idiot. Oh my god." And no one wanted to tell me. And it got to the stage someone did tell me, and I replied, "I fucking hate every single one of you who call me friends. You did not tell me the truth behind what I had said. And I feel lividly embarrassed about this." And then all they could say was, "Who the fuck snitched? Own up right now. Who did it?"
Oh man, for me, I'm the exact opposite. Where it's like Vox will say something, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, like the some random shit, like fucking the German sideways attack," and it's like, what is that? And it's like, "Oh, it's on Urban Dictionary. It's a sex thing. You don't know it? Why do I know this and you don't?" And it's like, because you are way too fascinated into looking into everything, so you're up to date.
Do you know what it is?
I went too far.
Jed? It's like
what?
It's like those guys who like were born way too late but are like obsessed with the 80s. And so they're walking around with like defunct 80s technology that wasn't even cool at the time. And like and they're like, "What is this?" It's like a little portable record player. You put a record on it, and you can like have a record with you like while you're like walking around. It's neat, right? And it's like nobody in the 80s was using that shit.
Nobody liked that shit.
Why would I know that exists? And so like, as somebody who's a sex haver, the sideways German attack is not something that would have ever crossed my mind.
I don't think that's a real one.
That's ours.
I'm gonna actually check if that's real quick.
I love the term sex haver.
Yeah, sex haver is good, yeah.
Vox is a big, like, whenever he needs to say, like, describe somebody who does something, he does haver at the end of it, so it's like sick haver, or, like, alcohol haver sort of thing. You've done similar things.
Haver. I've never done either of those. You're bad at havers, dude.
Yeah, sure, then give us a better example. Come on.
People with heads, head haver. I don't know when I'd need to talk about somebody without a head, mind you. But if the subject ever comes up, I'm locked and loaded, dude. I'm good to go. I've got that one in the chamber. I'm ready to go with fucking head haver.
Yeah. Okay, so there's no German dictionary for sideways German attack. That one is ours.
You're looking it up in English on the German dictionary. There's your problem.
Oh, right. I gotta translate it into German.
You said German. No. But yeah, no, that's fucking insane.
Man. Oh, we're attacking dogs on the podcast.
We're attacking
dogs
on the podcast.
It's my favorite thing to do in streams is every time you hear a small bark in the middle of the stream and then you just hear me Scottish rage unfold as I just scream Oreo and everyone's like, "Oreo could do no wrong. Why are you being so mean to Oreo? Like, you don't see the despicable acts she's pulling right now."
Oh my god.
Man.
Small dogs are the worst. They think they own everything. As somebody who used to have a small dog, and I loved him very dearly. They're such little bastards. Every one of them.
I love Oreo so much, but she gets so downstairs is her bowl of water, but that's downstairs. It's too much effort. In my room, there's a little bowl that we have that we can refill. He wants to drink out of that 24/7. But it's in my room, so I have to refill her. So she'll come up with the bowl and she'll start hitting me in the leg with the bowl until I refill it. And if I don't refill it, she'll just start barking as well until eventually I'll get pissed off enough that I'm like, that's it. And either I'll chuck her out the room and then she'll start scratching on the door, or I'll fill up the water and then she'll drink like 2 sips and then go lie down.
Yeah.
Man.
I got a cat that's like the same way when I'm doing shit about like just meowing non-stop until I pet her, and then she doesn't want me to put her down, ever. I'm just never allowed to stop petting her, or she'll just protest by yelling again. And it's like, she has like this sixth sense for when I'm like streaming or recording something, and she'll fucking like emit a tone that fucks with my mic. It's horrible.
I've genuinely had to end streams because Ario has been so much of an attention whore that the stream would just be me sitting, just chatting, while I pet a dog, essentially. And no one gets to see the dog, so everyone's upset. Because everyone wants to see the tiny dog that's causing all this drama and pain and whatever other shit that I'm telling everyone that Ario's causing for me.
God,
I make Ario like my number one like enemy at all times, and then I'll sleep with her at night.
All right.
Keep your fucking friends close and your enemies closer, I guess.
Exactly.
No, you gotta keep them. Gotta keep it
You
tight.
you have a vendetta against this little dog, but anyway. So typically on these guest episodes, we ask some questions, just the overall interview process. And I figure I'll rope us back around there now that we're done talking about like Blue Chew and like
We talked
random
about the
shit.
weather. There was
talked
like
about the weather.
polite
That's
topics
true.
in there somewhere.
See, this is what we're talking about. I'm like sex brained. I only think about the sex things because I'm trying to keep up.
Oh, your mom is gonna love that clip when she sees this episode, dude. She's gonna love that clip of you saying that you're sex brained and like obsessed with it. That's gonna go over real well.
That's gonna be great.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna get a phone call, and I'm gonna be like in Florida in the car with you, and my mom's gonna pick up the phone and be like, James, why are you talking about this on the podcast you have?
We've talked about this previously. But Jed's mom used to listen to the show, does not listen to the show anymore because she's saving it. Because her baby boy is leaving the nest to come live with me and my degenerate husband. And so,
why?
Like,
what the fuck do you have against Basil? What?
He's not home, and he will be home before the episode is over. And my loud ass, creaky ass door is gonna give him away immediately. I'm sure of it. But
I see.
Anyway, so his mom has just been saving a stockpile of these episodes to go back to when he's gone, and it's like, that's very sweet until you like know what kind of show this is.
Yeah,
that's a very sweet idea in theory.
I really love if your mom gets to this point and just be like, I really left my sweet baby boy to this thing, and then just stare at the rat with hate.
she's actually very complimentary towards Vox. She loves Vox a lot.
So.
You should meet your mom sometime, I think.
You probably. Krim's mom also watches the show, which I think is even like
I hear she's recently
even more bizarre.
Even
what?
Are you?
Yeah. No, I just thought it'd be an easy joke to go for.
Oh, thank God.
I just thought that I'm gonna marry your mom.
You're gonna leave your husband for my mom?
Just like ruin like two of the most fundamental relationships in my life just to dunk on you. That'd be so funny, actually.
That would be.
No.
Jed's mom, hit me up when you want to do the funniest thing in the fucking world.
Oh Christ! Oh
Such
man!
A stupid bit. Oh man.
Anyway, the guest question.
It's worse we're talking about somebody that I might have to look in the eye at some point.
You probably will, yeah.
Great.
You definitely will, actually.
I love that. That'll be fun.
Oh man.
But anyway, you wanted to get to the interview questions. We should probably get to those pretty soon before we end up like Sebastian Bush just like trailing off an entire episode on nothing. The last few guest episodes have been real question light because we get so in our flow with it. Throw a question out there, Jed.
We get very into a flow. But so you're a content creator, of course.
Yeah.
And I was wondering what makes you interested in content creation, or what made you when you first got started?
Oh fuck, this is a history lesson. So I've been streaming for 7 years. I'm ancient. Before the COVID babies exploded onto the streaming platform. But back then I started streaming because Discord screen sharing didn't exist 7 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So my
Discord
friends
barely existed 7 years ago.
My friends decided to buy me a game called Dream Daddy Simulator for my birthday because they thought it'd be funny. And I refused to play it unless they could suffer along with me, because I said this game is going to be the worst experience of my life. and you need to suffer with me. And so I set up a Twitch account so I could live stream Dream Daddy Simulator so they could watch me play it while we're sat in a call. Now the whole thing was muted, right? No, they couldn't even hear the game, I'm pretty sure, because I didn't know how to capture just the game audio at the time or anything like that. And I didn't want it to echo because we're all watching the stream to see what I'm doing. Obviously there's like a 15-second like fucking delay. It was ass. But
That's what I was
it was
gonna
the
ask
only
about.
way it was the only way I could think about this working out. And since this was a story type deep game anyway, I was reading out the dialogue to them. It was more just every now and again they would hear me scream about something, and 15 seconds later they get to see what made me scream, and it made it even more funnier to them. So that's how I started streaming.
15 seconds seems like the perfect delay, actually. First, there are so many moments with screen sharing where Jed will go like, "Oh my god, did you see that?" And I'll go, "No, I'm not in your stream. I wasn't paying any attention. I'm over here doing my own thing." And then Jed's like, "Oh, there's no way to recreate that. A 15-second gap time would be so good."
Yeah. So I started like that, and then eventually when we're playing for Dream Daddy, people started coming into my chat and be like, "Hello, we can't hear anything." And I was like, "Damn, that's the point." But now people are showing up. Who are these people? God, ooh, ah. And I was like, "Fuck, there's an audience now." Like, it was two people, just random ass people. They found my stream, they saw it was Dream Daddy, and they just got. And I was panicking because I was like sitting with my friends, like, "What the fuck do we do?" And they said, "That's on mute. It'd be funny." So I unmuted, and then from then I was like, "This is kind of fun." I liked them reacting to me being stupid. So I started streaming. Those people never showed up again. Ever again. But that's the life of streaming, isn't it? You get two random bozos, they show up, they follow, and never proceed to go in any of your streams again. They tell you your content's amazing, and you never know what happened to them. Who knew? But like, I just started streaming. But the problem was, I had a Windows XP laptop. It was chugging. It was not having a good time. We had an FPS of like maybe 4 on stream, at least for people to see. I was having a bit more. I thought 20 FPS was normal. I thought 20 FPS was just a normal frame limit for people. Everyone's like that, you know. Especially since I played Nintendo games and mainly Pokemon, who has chronically never ran properly ever since the Game Boy games. So yeah, I was just used to everything running like shit. And it wasn't until later on that I started realizing, man, my streams are literally a slideshow with perfect audio and it makes no sense. But people still watch because I don't know why. I guess I'm a funny Scottish person, Lamau. And over time, I just slowly started to invest better stuff. I played games that didn't run like shit on my laptop. Played some games that ran even worse, and eventually I got new laptops, new tech, and now I have a really fancy VTuber that causes 20 FPS sometimes. Because that's the way we go back.
Absolutely, we gotta rope it back around. Yeah,
so I've been a VTuber for 2 years, so that's like the time that my streaming actually became a thing more than anything else. I still have a few people who've been loyal for like maybe 4 years. When I first got affiliate, and then I lost my password to my account and had to make a new one and get affiliate again, but that's all good.
Of course.
But those people are few and in between, and those few people, namely are my mods anyway, so I don't know if they count as viewers anymore. They more just have to babysit shit while they're working.
Yeah. That's the best part. I like was friends with Vox when he was with his like old username and old Twitch channel, which is like dead and buried now. I think you would be hard pressed to find
that
it.
Shit
Vox
is long gone. I don't want to challenge anybody to find it because it is findable.
Yeah.
See, I had a similar situation where I lost my password or my password got changed. I forget exactly what happened. No, I just got logged out of my account and then couldn't log back in. Like I tried every password I had and I just like every combination possible and nope, nothing. And so I tried to get in contact with Twitch support and they were like, "Look, if you can't get it to work, just like verify with the phone number on your account and or verify with like the Authy mobile app to like do 2-factor for you." And I was like, okay, I don't have the mobile app. and there is a phone number attached to my account, but I don't know whose fucking number that is because it's not mine.
Yeah.
And so that account was just gone forever because I couldn't
Fun
do
fact,
two-factor in any way.
all of my Twitch until recently was all connected to my father's phone numbers because I didn't have a phone contract for a really long time. I was just on my dad's phone contract, and I wasn't I knew that I was going to go off that contract at some point so I could get a credit score and all that jazz, right? Do adult things, yippee. But I was like, I don't know if that means I can keep this number when I transfer, so they just link everything to my dad. But that meant, like, 2 a.m. when I had a sudden burst where I wanted to do stuff on Twitch, my dad would just get a ping on his phone just to tell me off code. But I also had Offie, so I didn't actually need my father, but it always pings my dad's phone before I can even get into the Offie in time to be able to stop it. So every time I do stuff on Twitch, my dad gets a ping, and he'll, like, sometimes text me and be like, oh my god, how's the streaming career going? I love you!
Using it to, like, check in.
Yeah, it's
That's
really
great.
It's cozy, but also really funny that every single time I try and do like anything related to payment, Twitch obviously asks you to log in, and then it's just like my dad's like, "Oh, I hope the streaming abilities is going well," and I'm just looking at the fact that I haven't reached payout for another month and be like, "Yeah, I'm doing great. This is a great hobby."
Yeah, this shit's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love this shit. That's where I'm at with streaming.
I love.
I'm in
streaming.
like one viewer hell.
Yeah, okay. I've got the hack. VTuber just adds random lurkers that will come in, or other VTubers that will come and scout out your art, essentially. Like, I've had people come in who are VTubers that haven't debuted and haven't got their model done yet, so they'll look around and be like, oh, who did your model? I like the art. And they'll come in, they'll watch it for a bit just to see how it's rigged and stuff like that, and then they'll leave. And I get people like that so
You're
often.
a commission sample to these people.
But it's even more awkward because I'm pretty sure my artist isn't doing any more VTubers because she's kind of moved on in interest. She was a kid. I didn't know this when I commissioned her. Do you know my art's done by a 16-year-old? This is a 16-year-old that's done this. This is impressive. Like,
That is impressive.
Yeah, and she's continued to grow in an amazing style. But over time she realized that she overworked herself for VTubing because obviously VTubing makes money. But it wasn't. Mario, what the fuck, man? Did you hear that?
No, what did the dog do?
She just slammed her head on my desk. Oh my god!
Oh, is that what that was?
We did hear it. I just
oh my god, cat's messing around in the background or something. I didn't know.
That was
oh my god, that was audible.
Hard ass hit against the table leg. Oh my god.
She just wants to lick me. That was what the desperation was, by the way. She just wants a lick.
Oh,
she had to get over to like lick your like calf. Dogs are so goddamn weird about that shit.
She wants to lick my hand. It's her favorite thing to do. But no, like, I like. Oh my god, I've lost my train of thought. Oreo, please. Why are you like this?
Either way, though.
This is my main. I've had to cancel streams because of this stupid little dog.
Oh man.
But being a VTuber is like a huge boon. Having a character at all is a huge boon, honestly.
Yes.
But like especially VTubers, I see it a lot where you'll get a bump from people who just exclusively seek out VTubing content.
I've noticed that certain like games do it even more. Like, let's say like any of the MiHoYo games, right? For some reason, if you're a VTuber playing specifically MiHoYo, like Honkai Star Rail games, I get 5 extra viewers out of left field. I'm like, but if I go live on Minecraft, those viewers will disappear. And I'm like, hi. Who? What? Like, but it's like certain games that you would expect VTubers to go. Like, they go into a certain category of like, this is a game that I would expect a VTuber to go in. Those kind of games, I just get an extra like couple of views, and I do better in those categories. And I'm like, I don't understand. Where are you coming from, and why do you not stay?
Why are you only here for gacha? What the fuck?
Because if it was just for the VTuber, then people would be there all the time, you know? It's not like the VTuber disappears. The only time I have to dissipate my VTuber is if a game is so goddamn beefy that I'm like, okay, this is gonna kill my entire PC if I keep this on. Like, No Man's Sky. I did a couple No Man's Sky streams because I really love No Man's Sky. But No Man's Sky is not great to stream. It is a very beefy game. There's a lot to explore. There's a lot of lag just when I normally play it. But that's mainly because I have a laptop at the end of the day. It's not really made to play really beefy, nice star exploring games. But that means that obviously when I was streaming it, I was like, okay, let's bring out the PNG tuber. The VTuber will absolutely kill everything known to man, and I'm not dealing with it.
The PNG tuber is like the emergency red button backup. Like,
yes.
fuck, my computer is going to crash. Bring out the PNG.
Bring the goober in here.
Bring the goober in here.
Get a silly guy on the screen right now.
I love my goober too, because it is just like a chibi version of my current like VTuber as well. So it actually still feels very on brand. It doesn't feel like too much. My old my old PNG tuber was similar but looked more like me IRL. And believe it or not, I don't have deer horns growing at my head IRL, so unfortunately this doesn't look as similar.
Can't relate. Can't relate.
I've always made sure I have ginger hair though this one's a little more of a pink shade than my usual ginger, but I kind of fuck with it. It's really nice actually. But I've always ensured that's always been there, because when I was younger I used to get bullied for my hair, and now as I've grown older I've realized, holy shit, this makes me hot and sexy and desirable, and everyone's just haters. Everyone likes ginger women, and they made me, when I was younger, believe that makes me ugly. And now that I'm older, I'm like, damn, they were just jealous because they knew when I was older, I was getting lit.
Yeah. Oh man.
No,
they like scoped you out.
Vox and I really look like this though. Like I've been lying. I've not at all. I've never been a 6'4" fat man. I've always been the robot twink. And Vox has always been the rat. Yeah, I'm a fat man. I'm a 6'4" fat man.
It's kind of a touchy subject, but I am like a 6 foot tall freakish rat man. Children turn and cry when they see me. Going in public requires a lot of like wearing a bag over my head. It's terrible. What a horrible situation.
By the way that this podcast is gonna be every now and again just me constantly, my VTuber freaking the fuck out as you realize the dog has ran off my shoulder and I'm fucking trying to figure out what to do with myself again.
This dog is harassing you, dude. You gotta get like a restraining order against her, man.
She's got the squeaky toy as well, just for the podcast, you know.
Holy hell,
of course. The mandate.
Because why not?
But moving on, I have a question about Twitch stuff while we're here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I noticed when doing my research that something that I didn't know before is that you're pretty singularly focused on Twitch, and as somebody who like is all over the board doing all sorts of stuff and like dipping my fingers in as many pies as possible. What's that like? What's being like a Twitch streamer full stop like?
So I've always debated dipping at least even multi-streamer around stuff like that, but for ages I just didn't have the capability to do it. It was just not something that could be done. Now I do have the capability, but I'm like, I mean, can I be arsed? And that's like the main like kicker. Once I actually could probably be bothered, I probably could. But I've talked to myself about doing so much stuff. Like I tried for a bit doing YouTube Shorts, and it pissed me off too much that I would have a banger clip that wouldn't work, but a clip where I just laughing at the word cheese would fucking do thousands of views, and that would be the most entertaining thing. And I was like, no, I can't do this. I understand why that's funnier, because it was funnier to me, because I'm brain rotted. And I hate that I have to think about, oh, you please, for the love of Christ, don't do this to me. Put the reindeer down.
Ruining your career. Absolutely.
Just spoiling it. Just absolutely spoiling it. I know what you mean, though. I took a lot of joy when I started doing TikToks. And now that I'm kind of like in it fully, it really does become a grind fast. Like at first it's like, oh man, this is some cheap little content I can just kind of throw out into the world, and people like it, and it's very low effort and very fulfilling for the like numbers and whatnot. And then it very quickly becomes, I gotta make another fucking Minecraft skin for these ungrateful bastards in the comments.
They're going to scream at you until
They're
you
gonna rip
do
me
like
limb from limb.
fucking
God forbid.
the Frieza Force member 2, like some random absolute their favorite comfort character that you've never heard of. It's great.
Always some shit like that too. It's great. I don't mind shit talking the TikTok audience because they don't watch this show. They're not gonna watch
No goddamn way.
40 minutes
Every
deep
single
into
time.
a fight about a
Okay,
podcast.
No.
What are you saying?
Every single time Vox has said the Willow SMPers would never be this far into the podcast, I went into Vox's DMs and said, yeah, okay, babes, I wouldn't be actually here. Heart. It's every single time I feel like you've said that, I'm like, wait, that's me. I'm
Every time I say that, it's under the guise that
I-
we probably just spent like the last 40 minutes talking about like something like deplorable, and then I'm like, there's no way that anyone respectable will sit through this for 40 minutes. And surely they do. I don't know how we do it.
I listen to your Spotify when I'm editing, which is very unoften, and that's why I'm not a good listener. So that's like another part of my issue. I went to an editing class in college, and it was like really fun. However, I'm a perfectionist, and it's been a problem because they taught me how to edit for movies, not for YouTube. And you do not need to be perfect to the style of movies for YouTube. No one wants to see that. In fact, it's probably even worse for YouTube because people want to see shit posts at the end of the day. They want to see something funny. And I can't do it. Each time I add like a funny meme, I then have to perfect that funny meme, and then it's no longer funny because I've done it too professionally. It's lost its humor. It's no longer like silly or anything like that. And then I get frustrated and I throw the entire thing into the bin and retry.
That's the thing.
I promised everyone that I would finish a video this year, and I think I'm gonna publish a video that I hate, but it will finally be a video that I've published because I've told everyone that I would publish mainly Pokemon stuff. Pokemon is very easy to make content in terms of a lot of the stuff I do on stream is variety, right? My Pokemon challenges are impossible to keep up with, especially since I have too much ADHD to actually just sit and play one game all day, every day. I must play 6 games throughout the entire week. Everyone must have to suffer as I go through different series of games and like something for a week and then leave it for 2 years to pick it up as if you remembered what happened 2 years ago. And that's kind of how like my stream functions, question mark. But because of that means stuff like the challenges that I've done, great for YouTube content, kind of shit for stream content, because a lot of the stream content is just me grinding. Is what Pokemon comes down to. So if I made it in YouTube, it'd be great. But then I can't beat the perfectionist in me. I keep wanting to make it the best thing that's ever existed on YouTube, and that's just frankly not gonna happen. It's an impossible dream. Yet I keep going, but what if I did? What if I just hit it right on the head?
Fighting
No,
for
I feel you. I feel you, because like there's so much again, as somebody else who like has not college level, but has a lot of professional experience with like learning to edit for film. It's so jarring to get into content creation from that, or to like try and implement that stuff into content creation, because people don't want it. They don't want anything to do with it, really, when it comes to like film editing. Content editing is a whole different thing. But it's just like, I don't know, I end up in a place where most of the time, just presets. It's just preset effects in Premiere, and that'll do. No After Effects, no color grading, no nothing. Fuck it, let it run. And then, like, it runs, and it goes over great, and nobody says a thing about it. I do notice, though. I am like you in that way, that, like, I get a little perfectionist-y, where it's like, I've been working on this 1 second of footage for, like, an hour. And I'll finally get all the effects just the way I want them, and I'll put it out, and it'll go completely unnoticed. It's fine. It's whatever. Yeah. But like it gets out there, and it's like I bothered to break out the L and the J cuts for this one, man. Most people don't bother.
Oh,
why isn't it?
We had I've talked about this on the show in the past, but we had played We Were Here Together, the first one, and you were like, "Oh, we should." No,
it was We Were Here, and then We Were Here Together, and then We Were Here.
Oh, right. It was just We Were Here. But Vox made a supercut of our We Were Here playthrough, and it was outrageously funny. He had like edited it to be
it's one of the
several
best
different
gameplay videos I've ever made. But people don't want to see gameplay videos from me.
Yeah.
I don't know. The internet pigeonholes you into a thing, and they're
view.
like, "I like what you do. I'd like you
That's
to keep
also
doing
another
that
thing that
ad
scares
nauseum."
me.
And I'm just not that kind of artist.
Right now, I'm at a perfect point where no one expects anything of me because every time people have expected something of me, I just stop doing it, and then people go, "Whoa, huh, okay, I guess we're doing this new thing now." So it's kind of good, but it also means I don't actually have a set audience. As I said, on Honkai I can get 5 extra viewers compared to Minecraft. Minecraft I could go from 2 viewers or no viewers. Ario, I swear to God, if you start eating my toes, I'm gonna kill you. Please.
Oh my God, he's eating Sakura alive on the podcast. She's eating Sakura alive on the podcast.
Ario, honey. Right, okay.
This is outrageous.
Come on my lap.
consumed.
On my lap. Right, but not in my face. I need the face cam to be working. Thank you. Lie down. Nice girl. Good girl. Thank you. Anyway,
Holy shit.
when
can we get
like
Oreo on the podcast?
Ario would be a much interesting podcaster just because some of the things this dog gets up to is crazy. Do you know Arya's favorite food? It's her fish flakes. That's what she likes. Yeah, the fish flakes. Yeah, you know what I'm talking
flakes?
about.
We're talking like regular like fish food here, like dip it in the tank,
fish food.
you know, give it a little shake like a shaker.
She loves breaking an entry into the fish flakes. We've had them so many different places. We put them into cupboards and everything, and then she'll find where we're keeping them, open them up, and try to open up the fish flakes so she can eat it. And then when we come in, she knows she's done something that she shouldn't. Her tail will go down, her ears will go down, and she'll look at us like dead embarrassed. And I'm like, we've been joking that she's actually like an addict, like, and she's really ashamed of what she does. Like, she's just an addict for fish flakes. And we've been constantly joking, like, oh, there she goes again. Her withdrawals are kicking in. She needs to get her fish flakes.
Fiending, dude.
That's a good bit. That's a really good bit. What are you saying, Joe?
Sorry, the dog constantly changes topics. Welcome to my stream.
Oh no, it's good. It's good. It's helping a lot.
Yeah.
It's helping a lot. It's very jarring, but very nice. Because we suck at transitions around here. What were you saying, Joe?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna go back around to it, but I think this is a good transition since we're talking about how good of a transition this would be.
Okay, well, here we go.
Do any of us remember what we were talking about prior? I think Oreo stole our thoughts, or at least mine.
She does that. She has a habit of doing that with chat as well. Chat will be like really excited about something, and then we'll just spam the word Oreo, and you're like, "Fucking goddamn it! I've been stolen."
It's gone. I could never go back to that topic.
I think we were talking about being
about editing,
and then I forgot exactly where we were.
We ended up
either way.
We ended up on like different audiences for different things and how you have a bunch of plates spinning.
I have like a big variety content, and it's what I love doing because at the end of the day, streaming is my hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I make money out of it, and it does help me. Don't get me wrong, but it is something that is at the end of the day a hobby. And if I ever treated it like a job, I probably would hate streaming. I'll make that blank clear. I'll probably despise it. Because the idea that I would have to care about my numbers, that I would have to process what would be best for me, I would end up crying every day if I realized I gotta play Honkai every day, all day, because it's the only thing that gives me numbers. Oh god! I don't want to do that. That sounds horrific to me. I like playing variety of content, and it's what gives me joy, is trying out different games. That's what I like as a gamer, is playing out games and thinking, is this game enjoyable? Yes, I'm gonna make it my fucking personality, or no, not for me, sorry. And that's like kind of how I developed. Minecraft is one of those games that has became my personality and is like actually just stolen my entire soul. But then there's other like things that'll be going on that is just a lot more chill, and I enjoyed the game, but I would probably never pick it up again if it wasn't for stream or anything like that. But
Mhm.
I have like an audience that will watch me only for specific games that I put on. So there's people that watch me only when I'm playing Minecraft, or only will watch me if I'm playing Honkai, or only will watch me if I'm playing literally any other fucking thing under the sun. Like there's people who go out of their way to make sure I'm not playing Minecraft or Honkai, and then will watch me during those. I know those people exist. I'm calling you out, okay? And that's fine. You're like most of my viewers are lurkers, and I don't have a problem because I'm good at yapping, so I don't have a worry about that. I'm good at keeping them entertained in that sense. But then I
Right,
just have
right.
to wonder, why is other content so interesting to them? Like I put a poll out, like, what do you want to see more this year? I like last year, and they were like roguelikes, and I was like, I think I've not played a single roguelike this entire year at all. I put it down because I like playing roguelikes and I was intrigued, but then it was just like, I don't think I've played a single fucking one on stream. Why is that a content thing you want to see if you've never seen that sample? And I played it and suddenly I popped off, and then a week later no one cared about it. They were just like, I'm done with it. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
oh my god, they have more ADHD than me. Like, they're
They just want
interested
to
in
like
what I
see you
watch.
dance.
Yes,
They're
yes.
just like shooting at your feet and just like watching you dance around, and it's like, yeah, it'd be
Like,
funny.
I
No,
feel like
yeah.
I've shot myself in the foot because now that I have so many separate audiences, if I don't play Minecraft for a while, I feel like I have an audience that sits there and goes, well, when are they gonna do that again? I miss it. And you're like, fuck. Ah. Like, no one says that to me, but I feel it at the back of my brain that there's an audience that just is starved for content because I've just not
Yeah.
done anything.
It's
I think the
really easy to
Minecraft
get caught
is-
up in the obligation of like, or like the self-obligation of, there are people out there who like this thing that I used to do. I'm not doing that no more. You know? I've got no
Willow
intention of
is
ever
like-
going back to that.
Willow is like the only Minecraft content I make now as well. So if people aren't interested in the roleplay like Minecraft community, they're so fucked. It's like the only content I make. Every now and again, I'll go into MCCI, but it's always just a just chatting stream. Actually, it's in disguise. I just don't like just chatting streams by themselves. I think gaming is just chatting at the end of the day is my hot topic of the day. I think everyone who's doing just chatting should just be playing something else while they're doing just chatting that just turns their brain off. Minecraft is a perfect brain off game. You play that, it's exactly the same, but now you've got brain rot Subway Surfers also going at the same time, so then everyone is
Oh, yeah.
entertained. And it just makes just chatting more entertaining. But that's my hot take. I know some people like just staring at a VTuber, just waving back and forth and ranting and raving. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like their cup of tea. But I
No.
personally
Yeah.
think a game just makes it so much more interesting, you know?
Games do make it more
Mhm.
interesting, and I get you about like having like juggling audiences and ensuring that they all stay happy, because like I don't know, I think that's like one of the things that's impeding my Twitch growth right now the most is, or my growth in content in general, but like specifically about Twitch right now, of like of like the like advisor to the throne is sitting there like the people they want more Balatro, my lord, and it's like, Minecraft, no, my lord, the people they seek Balatro, let them starve.
Continue
And
to
I
play
end up just like
Minecraft.
doing whatever the hell I want and hoping people show up for it.
What's worse for
Mhm.
me as well is that I love story games, right?
Right.
As a VTuber, I actually kind of get away with it because people like VTubers with story games. But like, that's when I go to rewatch some of my VODs, because I'm my own worst critic as there is. But I will watch some of my VODs and be like, what made this VOD like take other people and make them go, this was a good stream, right? What made people stay and watch? And whenever I watch my story content, I go, holy fucking shit, this was horrible. The whole time was just me silent as I listened to the story. Not because I'm engrossed into it, because I don't want to fucking talk over the main protagonist just so I can insert my little silly joke in. And when I do insert my silly joke, I just, like, in the back of my brain, I goes, what if they wanted to care about the story? And I just went and, aha, they said pancakes. I prefer waffles.
Yeah.
Just
I've
random
very
shit
much
like that.
taken. I do that with story games sometimes. If I'm playing a game that has cutscenes in it, I'll absolutely like try to mostly stay quiet during dialogue. But I've found a good middle ground with these stupid little bits that me and Jed have been doing in private for years. Where like I'll have like a very serious protagonist moment where they're like complaining and like having like a brooding moment of like, oh man, I can't believe we have to exist in this world of rot. And then in the corner, I'll just go more like world of butt, and that'll be the joke. That'll be the joke. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. And I'm slipping those in every now and again. And I don't remember who it was, but I had a guy. I was watching a guy stream something, and somebody was like, "Can you like be quiet? I'm trying to hear the thing." And they were like, "Dude, go play the game. Go fucking play the game, dog. What are you talking about? Why are you watching some idiot play?" Or like, if you want it, go look up the cutscenes. They exist. They're out there. You can just watch them like a movie. They're free on YouTube.
God, that just brought up memories. When I was younger, I generally couldn't afford games, right? I was that kind of kid that like was really struggling. My parents have always been like jobless. My dad is disabled, and then my mom has always been like really struggling with the keep jobs. We love economy.
Right.
So when I was younger, I would always hear about all these rich kids in my Catholic school going on about how they've got like all this shit off their parents, and I'd be like, my parents can't even afford to give us macaroni tonight. What the fuck? So I didn't get games unless it was like a special occasion, which was fine. If anything, I think that made me a better person because now those kids are all snotty little bitches. So take that one.
Being broke builds character, I say anyway.
Yeah.
So what I used to watch all the time on YouTube was I would type up my game that I'm interested in and then put no commentary and just watch some random guy. And then I'd get aggressively angry because they always suck at the game. Like, how do you follow a guide and still fuck up, bro? What's going on? And I would get aggressively angry and be like, I was playing the game. I'm just saying, I would 100% this game easy. And now that I'm a gamer, I'm like, no, those guys were so fair. I don't even judge them anymore. They're so base.
Yeah.
Gaming's hard.
I talk about it. I don't talk about it often. I talk about how like, oh, I love that game. I've always loved that game, and it's a little awkward to tell people like, oh yeah, I've been playing that game since I was a lad, you know, on like the family computer, and they're like, oh really? Why's your Steam account say you bought it last year? And it's because I also grew up in a situation where video games were not a household expense, and so like in a lot of cases, it came down to piracy for me. I was a kid on the open internet, completely unprotected, and what I found was that you could just download anything if you know where to find it. And so I'm playing like crashed copies of Half-Life 2 that look like shit, and I'm loving every minute of it, dude. It's great.
Rest
but
in
like
peace to like the amount of times I killed my laptop, and then my mom would be like, "Hey, how does this computer keep dying?" And I'd just be like, "I don't know." And it's just me downloading Sims 4 for all DLCs or Sims 3. Sorry, would be the
fucking
time.
trying to get a cracked copy working.
I had the Sims 3 on disc, and it would go through into my laptop. I had the disc of it. I just did not have the money to fucking buy DLC, and I'll forever call EA out. You fucking hate me specifically out of all people. I swear to God, because I hate The Sims, but then I'll play it for like a month straight for no good reason, and I'll hate it and be able to tell people how this is so shit. The Sims suck. Oh my god, they have no personality. But I'll still play it, and I don't understand my little brain. I hate it. I despise it. Yet I keep going back, and I run the hamster wheel over and over again. And all it does is I end up going up to someone and be like, "God, Sims 4 sucks, man." Like, that's it. That's all I do.
I feel you.
And I do that like maybe twice a year. I'll just start playing The Sims 4. I'll get all the DLCs totally legally before anyone finds my address, totally legally. And then it'll just be like a fucking mess, essentially, where I just go, this game sucks ass. It doesn't work half the time.
Yeah. No, The Sims 4, I don't know what it is, but it just some people are like crackheads for The Sims 4, where my husband's the same way. He'll have a moment every few months where he's like, I want to play The Sims, and that's all he'll do all day, every day for the next like 3 to 4
It
months.
literally consumes you. Like, I don't understand. It's like not even like, oh, I'll play this for a couple hours. No, it is a full-time job. It's 9 hours of just playing the sim and going, oh, it's that late? Maybe a couple more hours. And you're like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah. I don't know, I'll do a couple more, and then you snap out of it and the sun is coming up. Oh, that's the worst. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you, that feeling only gets worse with VR games. I'll say about playing a game too long.
I can't play VR at all. I have motion sickness. I get motion sickness from
damn.
Minecraft. That's how bad my motion sickness is, actually. I tried to find first-person games because first-person games cause me really bad motion sickness. Now, I'd say Minecraft probably has one of the best accessibility options in the modding sphere. Modding specifically. Because you can get so much stuff that just stops movement entirely. And also, you can just currently be in third person as well, which helps a lot. Like, my third person key is on my Z key, because it's just the easiest one I can switch between. So if I ever feel sick, I just switch. Like, half of my streams is Cherry on the Willow SMP is third person. Not because I'm so small I can't fucking see anything. No, because I'm trying to stop myself from getting motion sickness in the middle of roleplay.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
VR just turns it up by fucking 11. I played Beat Saber, and I love Beat Saber so fucking much. It's such a sick thing. But I can't play it for longer than, like, maybe 25 minutes before I'm like, okay, putting that down before I end up being sick. Oh, dear.
Yeah, no, there's just nothing worse in the whole world than, like, oh, I'll play a couple minutes, the sun's about to go down, it's like 7, 8 p.m., and no matter what Jed says, that's a perfectly normal time for, like, the sun to set. I'm gonna go ahead and put my headset on and play, like, for maybe an hour, and then, like, I'll hop out. And then the headset comes off and the sun is coming up. That has happened to me on more than one occasion, just because it's so easy to just completely lose yourself. It's so easy to completely lose yourself and track a time in VR. It's the worst. Thank God it never happened when I had anything to do in the morning, but still.
I lost myself so many times to Persona 3 Reload. It took over my entire life, and I'm still not finished it. It's been over 90 hours that I've played the Persona games, and I'm probably about halfway through the game. I will never get over how much gameplay there is to that fucking game.
God damn.
There's just games like that are just like actually suck the soul out of you in the best way possible, by the way. This is a compliment at the end of the day. But like they just take you away to another world and you're so invested. But I hate Twitter, and I've never been happier leaving Twitter because holy shit, how many times I got spoiled when I started liking a game, and then I'd get spoiled with the ending, and all my motivation would be sucked out of me. I would want to just end playing the game entirely. I just couldn't put it up. Each time I put it up, I would like play it for 20 minutes and be like, it just doesn't feel the same anymore. I know what's gonna happen, so what's the point anyway? Like, the journey doesn't feel worth it.
No, yeah. I have those moments, and then I feel bad for myself. I feel kind of sorry for myself about, like, man, I'm a bum. I just spent my whole weekend playing a video game, and then I think about those guys in, like, the late 2000s, early 2010s who would much sooner sell their house and be homeless with a computer than stop playing World of Warcraft. And, like, I think about those guys. Man. World of Warcraft was so, like, infamously bad
like an
for
epidemic.
That. We're talking about video games that hit communities like crack. Oh, dude. You, like...
World of Warcraft was a game that I played at the age of 11. And I should not have been allowed to touch that game. People didn't know I was 11, obviously. I was actually more self-aware than I can say for my 11-year-old sister who just has their full name on Roblox. But like I was self-aware enough to not tell people how old I was, and I just said I was 19. And I was in college, and that's why I had to go away during school hours. Some people would buy it. Some people would obviously be quite aware that an 11-year-old is trying to pretend to be a 19-year-old, because obviously,
it's pretty obvious,
I don't sound 19 by any means. But I played for ages World of Warcraft, but I wasn't good at it. I was fucking ass at it. I had no clue what the fuck was going on because I didn't want to read any of the instructions that popped up and invaded me. And then there was a point where it said, like, oh, your free trial has ended, you have to pay. And I was like, what? what? I have to pay? And that's when I stopped playing.
What
What do you mean,
But
money?
But that took me like a good 2 years to get there, and I'm pretty sure back in the day that was only like level 15. But for some reason, my like little kid ass was like so shit at video games that
Kids playing
that
video
was,
games
like,
is like a whole nother level. I've heard stories of people playing playing every game is dolls at the end of the day. Every single video game in the hands of a child at some point will become dolls. Kirby's Air Ride, I've heard people like play with it like dolls. Gary's Mod, obvious. But then you get like way out there with shit like people used to like I don't remember the exact context, but there is a specific Goomba in Mario 64 that I watched this guy go on like a 20-minute rant about how like that's his favorite one. As a kid, he used to come up with stories for that specific Goomba, and it's like, why? What did you gain? What goes on in the minds of like kids 5 to 12 that makes them do that shit?
I still do this. Recently I've been streaming Fields of Mistra. The game is pretty clear cut, but the whole idea is you're an adventurer, you come over and you're supposed to help after an earthquake has hit Mistra and they're all fine. I decided that I'm taking the story a step forward. Suddenly I'm playing as a character called Aster who goes by they, he pronouns, because the game has pronouns, because it's woke like that.
Holy shit, woke.
Holy shit, woke game.
I can't believe this.
Whoa,
It's so
can't believe it.
I will say I think it's really stupid how excited I got over the fact I can choose they them pronouns. But you know, here we are. We're in a world where that makes me excited in life as an adult. But there was like a point in the game where they made it clear this is the story and this is how it's gonna play it. And I was like, no, I'm Aster and I was a pilot and I caused the earthquake because I crashed one of my planes nearby and I'm not gonna tell them. So I just posed myself as an adventurer and be like, yeah, I'm the adventurer you were looking for. Please do not look at the smoke coming off from the plane behind me. Nuh-uh. And that's how I play games. I like adding that. Since I've done it since I was a kid, but I think it's more my autism and writer persona both having like a handshake and going, take this up a notch, essentially. And every game I play, it is dolls at the end of the day. I add a story that doesn't actually exist. When I stream games, I usually try to not go too far with it because some games have such a set story and I feel like it's kind of annoying how I just go in and be like, no, my character's different than yours, my character has all this extra traits and stuff. I feel like it just feels really childish as well, and telling people I'm in my mid-20s.
End up like the SpongeBob self-insert guy.
Yeah, I'm in my mid-20s and what I do is play dolls 24/7. It does not sound like the best. But
no, but you're a Sims player. That tracks that you play these games this way.
That does tracks, yeah.
It does. I just I think also the fact that I role played so much as well as a kid, and now I role play still. Like I've it's never truly left me. I stopped role playing, but I still like missed it and came back to it every now and again, and then was like, it's not the same. And then I eventually went into Minecraft roleplay after the Dream SMP exploded and made it normalized. It went from, oh my god, we need to punch this kid and put it into a locker. What the fuck does it mean it's role playing? To, oh yeah, this is conventionally okay. These hot boys are doing it. And I'm like, hey, society, why have we got, oh god damn it. Like, I will never get over how funny it is to me that all of my interests that I got bullied in when I was a kid, anime, fucking role playing, like fucking talking to yourself while playing video games and all that shit, it's now being normalized in some way. Like streaming is just talking to yourself while you play a game at the end of the day, right? Obviously there's an audience for it, right? But you are just sitting in your room talking to yourself. And I find it so funny that as a kid I got bullied for all of these things that I did, and now it's just so normalized. And I'm like, god fucking damn it! I was just above my time. God damn it!
Yeah.
You know, being ahead of your time on things sucks. Being like a trendsetter really does blow, because they're like, you have a really good idea and then everybody shoots it down instantaneously, and then it's like, okay, clearly that's a bad idea, the public doesn't like it, whatever. And so like you tuck that idea away and then you see somebody else do it. I remember there was a time a few years ago, the game Jump King had literally released a few days ago, and it was rising up to like the front page of Steam, and I was looking at platformers on Steam one day and I found it and I was like, oh man, this would make for a really funny stream game. this seems like a really obvious pick for like a funny stream game, and I was like, no, that kind of content is too simple. I'm not doing that. And plus, the game's like $10 or like 5 or 6 or something. I don't want to spend money on a game for stream. Like to stream it once maybe, and then not again. And what do I see within a week of saying that to myself? A bunch of streamers going viral for playing fucking Jump King. I could have been ahead, dude. I could have been so ahead. I think about that every single time a new like trend game comes along and somebody gets big off it. In that, like, Jump King could have been me. That could have been me, dude.
I wrote the Maze Runner as a kid. Fun fact. I wrote the entire concept of the Maze Runner as a kid before the Maze Runner came out. And now I will forever be upset that I wasn't good enough and that I like to publish it, because I could have been so fucking rich. Holy shit! Imagine how rich I could be. Oh my god! No, because like I wrote the exact concept of like the special kid that actually worked behind the scenes and was like the runner of like the circus ring, essentially. Obviously it's not the exact same, but I had like these animatronics that were existing inside a circus. That just kept going, essentially. It was an infinite mirror maze, is what I wrote down. It was a mirror maze, and you had to keep yourself inside the circus ring, otherwise, at night, the mirror maze became dangerous to these animatronics that would smash out the windows and, like, snatch you and kill you. But they don't fully take you away. You become part of the mirror maze, and then you start taking other people away, and it was like a common issue. But inside the mirror maze, there was also like loot that they needed to be able to survive. So it was essentially the exact same as the Maze Runner at the end of the day, right? And then the main protagonist comes in and is like, I'm not like you bros, I'm different, I don't remember anything, but I'm cooler. And yeah, they beat the mirror maze, they take over the Eldergrad, they realize that actually the like mirror maze was actually created by this dude, and like everyone feels betrayed, but like it's cool because he was the cool bro, so they're forgiven. But I like
he was cool as fuck, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, I sat down as a kid and was like, if I polished this would be just the Maze Runner, but circus themed.
Yeah.
That's what this would be it. This is the entire plot line, essentially.
And nobody says you can't still do that. You could totally still polish that up, change a few things, and put it out.
I could, but I like making unique stories, and my problem is each time I come with a unique story, I feel like it's not polished enough. I don't send it to a publisher, and then I see it published in some point, and I go, God fucking damn it, bro. Obviously, they've been working for it for a lot longer, though. That's like the thing I have to remind myself. Because if it's already published when I'm thinking about polishing, they've already been through the polishing state. They've been fucking going through it with a publisher. So it's not like I was the first one, but it's like one of those things where I'm like, my psychic like this, like in the worst way possible. Like,
no, I get you. Because I'm a perfectionist in a very similar way. I feel that like. So I learned this anecdote about Weird Al recently, that for the sake of lawsuits, Weird Al Yankovic, when he writes a parody or comes up with a concept of a parody he might want to write, he scours the internet, Google, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere, with the keywords of like this song in this like this song with this set of lyrics. Has anybody done this parody before? Has anybody ever done a parody of Hot to Go about hot dogs? Let me go find out. Yes, some 12-year-old did it on Vine like a decade ago. Somehow, before the song even came out. Can't do it. Video's got 2 views. I don't want to get sued. I'm the same way, except I do that for like everything, and I'm not worried about being sued at all. I just don't want to ever be accused of stealing somebody's idea, and I don't ever want to feel like I can imposter syndrome myself into feeling like I stole somebody's idea. And so, like, that shit is just off limits to me.
So, as a kid, when I was really young, one of the things I ever dreamed about was I want to write a book that no one else wrote, and I want someone to be able to say, wow, this was unique. This is something that no one but this person could have created, essentially. Now, the problem with that is book writing has been in fucking trend for thousands of years, literally. Everyone has written in some form since we've literally gathered brain cells, be it wall writing and painting or other forms. The art form has been at its limits for years now. but we just keep trying to push it further and further. So actually being able to push it further and get that kind of like goal in mind is really hard. People have really pushed writing to its limits. And I love that and hate it because it makes my job so hard, but in a good way. Because that means when I really do it, I feel like I'm gonna like really succeed. But that means that I'm constantly like perfecting and stuff. I have many concepts on the back of my fucking like hat essentially that I just need to like settle on one eventually and just really just go for it. Because I think I have plenty of like really good concepts that I could do well with if I just finish them. Like I just left them in unfinished states and it's really depressing. But I'm so like perfectionist driven that I want it to be the best fucking piece, and if it gets published and it's shit, I'm just gonna retire. Like I don't care how much millions I could make by the next book. I just retire instantaneously. Not good enough. No, I'm gonna actually retire, never write a book again. Because my brain is just like that. If it's not the best thing that can ever exist, it sucks. And that's why I find it so funny that I like streaming, where streaming almost on the complete opposite scale, you being shit at streaming is kind of a good thing, because then it just goes back to being laugh at this person, point and laugh, holy shit, they suck. And people just kind of enjoy bullying the streamer. It is a very much a content trope of like streamer bully is a very interesting thing. Like, obviously, no one would be shocked to hear this. People like calling me Irish because I'm Scottish, and thus it's incredibly funny to hear how angry I'll get just over my driven blood sense that'll just rise out of like fucking left field. I don't usually care about me being Scottish, but you call me Irish, I instantly go like, right then, all right. Is this how we're fucking going? Is this how we're going?
Hatred.
I'm
like,
joking, by the way.
It just like it takes over. There's a clip somewhere on my channel that is them my chat gifting to someone called Irish Sakura, me losing my shit, then the person called Irish Sakura coming to the chat and me instantly apologizing and feeling really bad because I was talking shit about this random person that I never thought would come to my stream, because you know, like, why would I assume they would come to my stream? And I was like shit talking them for like 45
gives you a
minutes.
notification. Twitch gives you a notification when you get a gift sub to a channel, and for what channel it's for.
Right, but that's the funny bit. Usually, most people don't react if they're randomly gifted to a streamer they don't even know. They're just like, okay, who the fuck's that? I've had it twice now, where streamers who should probably not be looking at their things have looked. I've had Smallend come into my stream and say, thank you for the sub, while he's live!
Wow.
He is live.
That's
like,
funny. That's kind of a funny bit to like pull up Twitch and go to your stream and go, hey, thanks for the sub.
No, what's worse is he pulled up his stream on his stream. You could hear me in the background.
Oh man.
No.
Some of his viewers came over to me because I have the VTuber introduction follower thing where I'm like, hi, I'm Sakura, and on top of my head is radio. It's so nice to meet you. So you can put two and two together and realize my channel is SakuraRadio, right? So people came over and I got a hype train up to like level 6 or 9. I can't remember. It was one of the two.
Wow.
And I'm never beating that hype train in my life. And it was all because these people, random people, heard it on Small End stream, came over, just randomly gave me money, and have never appeared to my stream again. And I'm like,
Small End viewers fucking do that.
Lots of Twitch viewers do that. Diehard Twitch guys are like viewer wise, they'll throw $5 at anything, dude. Anything that moves.
The thing is, I saw Smallend at TwitchCon Rotterdam, and I went to apologize because I was like, I'm so sorry, my chat thinks it's really funny to continue gifting now because you've reacted. So if you don't want it to happen again, just stop reacting. He was like, I'm going to respond every time then, because I get free emotes at the end of the day. And I was like, that's just the most hilarious response to the situation ever.
For the emotes. That's so funny.
I get free, because he was like, you're a VTuber. Oh, VTubers always have good emotes. I'll just keep doing it then.
Oh man,
I'll
speaking of places where you interact with larger content creators who probably shouldn't know anything, because like, I don't know, I think we've all been there where it's just like, oh yeah, you're that guy. I'm a really big fan of your content, and then they respond with, oh, I think I've heard of you, and it's like, have you? What the fuck?
Oh Christ.
Stay away from me.
Say that they know who I am, but that's like they don't actually they knew of who my name was essentially. Feinberg had seen my name because I have been in Block Wars Origins a couple times, so my name is like shoved around a little bit, but no one actually knows who I am. So it's really funny because I'm on like these MCYT like tier lists, and people are like,
Mhm.
who the fuck is this bozo? Like, who are they? Who? Huh? Like and then I was going around with my friend who also was having a similar thing of like, who the fuck's this person? And they just chucked them in, I don't know, categories, right? But then there was one
Right.
point when I looked around and I saw Feinberg put in, I think I know this person, and I was like, no, the fuck you don't! No, you don't! No, no, you don't!
No, that's funny because going to content creator like social events and things like online, of course, or participating in like Minecraft events with people is so funny because you'll get like teamed up with somebody or have a nice conversation in the evening in like a Discord call with somebody, and you'll go, "Oh, that person was really cool. Let me go follow them on Twitter or like on Blue Sky or something." Whoa, my God, that follower count! You know, you just like
Yeah.
realize you've immediately like, and it doesn't bother me any. It's just like a shock to the system for a second of just like 100K. What do you mean 100K? You know,
I'm gonna say a
I
very hot take. Unironically,
go
I
for it.
find that most people that I've interacted with when they've been have higher view counts and like follower counts and that are actually being the most humble and down to earth people that I've interacted with.
Oh
Um
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There's so
They're the
many
best.
people who are smaller streamers who are just really out to get you for no fucking reason, and you're like, what is the point? But then every time I've interacted with the VTuber community, especially, a lot of them interact. I find that a lot of smaller VTubers interact engagement bait farm all
Mhm.
the time and don't actually want to be your friend and just use you for engagement essentially. Um and then you'll have bigger streamers who generally do actually want to interact with you, but you get nervous to actually reach out. From my
Mhm.
experience with the community that I'm in, the larger
Mhm.
the streamer has been, the more they do not give a fuck and they actually don't consider me a clout chaser or anything. They're very chill and it's been nice. But the amount of times I've been called out for being a clout chaser and thinking I'm friends with people who I'm not with because of smaller streamers is things I can count on my hands for sure. And it's just like, why is this a thing?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I feel you because like it. A lot of bigger content creators lose something when they become a larger content creator, and they leave that like small streamer wheelhouse. I find that like a lot of the little guys, a lot of people like my own size or smaller even have this like or a good bit larger because I feel like I'm like right smack dab in the middle of what you would call a small streamer. But
Mhm.
they have this like when you start out, at least like once you've started and gotten the ball rolling a little bit and the initial like, hey, this is fun, I've never really considered this, you know, and you actually like get into the nitty gritty of it, you start to develop this hunger for success, for like building a community, for being able to like
Yeah.
do this thing to the level that everyone else does it. And that's great, that's all fine, well and good. But it's just it's something that can make being social a little difficult with other people who you know are involved in those same spaces, or who you know that could be like helpful in like helping you get forward. And I feel like a lot of people let that hunger get away from them a little bit. Every time, it's gonna be a little rude, but I'm gonna put it this way: every time that I speak to somebody who's a Twitch streamer under 1,000 followers, they'll tell you they're a Twitch streamer. Just about every time. You'll know for sure.
Yeah.
Just about every time. Over 1,000, I've spoken to like every like quote unquote big streamer that I know, or everybody I know who's like got considerably more of a following than me. They don't talk about it ever. They just want to have a conversation, man. They've left that hunger behind. They have no need for it anymore. They've hit their stride. They're doing what they love, and when they're not streaming, they don't really want to discuss it all that often. I've experienced, which is nice. So it makes it so much easier to like sure, talking shop is gonna happen when you're two people in the same profession. Like hell, plumbers do it, you know,
Yeah.
plumbers do it, fucking tradesmen do it, scholars do it, stockbrokers do it. Every profession, if you run into somebody who does the same thing as you, it often becomes a little bit of like talking shop about just like, what are your numbers like? Have you tried this or that? You know, it's a lot of that. And like, but beyond that, there's not really much substance with the smaller guys as much as just like, and that's no offense to my like fellow like smaller streamer friends, because like those guys are great, but like whenever I run into somebody, like every now and again, you do run into like an individual who's just like, dude, if you link me your Twitch one more time, I don't know what to do, man. I can't keep doing this. I just want to hang out and play video games or something. What are we doing? I'm getting like personal go live notifications now. Make it end.
Yeah, that's why I like try not to send like my Discord around to people anymore either when it comes to like streaming stuff. I let them find that themselves because if people really want to see my content, they'll go out their way to find it at the end of the day.
No, yeah, absolutely.
I find that's a better way, and then it means that the relationship is never going to be just related to content. I feel like Willow SMP is the kind of in between where you can either make just a content friend, someone that's just going to be there for role playing purposes, or you can make actual like long term friends. Like I've barely ever hung out with your two characters because my characters shit fear of yours, so there's no reason for me to in character ever interact with you unless I'm with A-Bens. Where I feel a little couple inches taller and I'm like, yeah, I can take on the big bad robot. I got this. As I hide behind A-Bens the whole interaction. But like, I'll still like talk to you guys because I think you're very cool and you're chill and you're also not very young either because I feel very scared whenever I talk to someone. Be like, oh, you're so young. Oh God, you were like a child when I was playing this game. Oh God, it's not even their fault. It's just my fault at this point. I'm
pretty young.
You are, but like
1 foot in the grave, dude. You're right behind me. You're right behind me.
I'm 19, brother.
Yeah, you won't be 20 here. You'll be lucky to see 20,
pal.
About
more like there in the Minecraft sphere, especially. There's so many 16-year-olds content creators, and like, off. Go make your content. I have no problems, but every now and again, I'll hang out with one and be like, "Oh, this guy's really chill," and then they'll like at one point it'll come up at some point, like even days afterwards, and it'll come out that they're really young. I'm like, oh God, I'm in my mid-20s. Can I even like add this person on Discord? Like, what the fuck?
Like,
that's the same way where like you'll be on a server or something, and like somebody who you've been speaking to all afternoon. I'm the worst about this. I know a lot of people do it. I don't do it. I don't check bios whenever I talk to somebody instantly.
Yeah, I don't want to discuss my age, so I never ask people because then they ask me how old I am, and then I don't want to say. I'm like 1 foot into the grave according to most people, so
that was a Jed exclusive comment. Comment. I'm
look,
so much
my little sister along. Who's 11, when it was my birthday on the 19th, she said, "Oh my God, you're gonna turn to ash next year," and I was like, what the fuck, man? Like
fucking no, but in the Minecraft content sphere, I was the baby of the group for a long time, like really far as the baby.
Jed was the youngest guy in our friend group by like a year and a half, 2 years, I think.
3,
maybe even more than that.
3. No, 2, because YV's only 2 years older than me. But like Vox met me when I was like 15, and then I get into the Minecraft content creator sphere, and I think I did right when I turned like around 18, and I had this moment where I was like, holy shit. These people are young enough for me to be like, I'm not going to like say any names, of course, but there are some times where it's like, I have interacted with someone and been like, you simply have that viewpoint because you are young. I never thought I would have like the old man, like, the kids and you'll understand when you're older.
And this is not to disparage anybody. I got no specific names or experiences in mind when saying this. But sometimes you like are talking about like a serious subject or having like a discussion about something, and somebody will chime in, and my immediate knee-jerk thought is like, yeah, talk to me again when you're not 14 anymore, buddy.
Yeah, or like
I find that happening a lot. I find it
so funny that in the Minecraft sphere especially, right? Dream SMP was a big blow-up thing, right? But I feel like it was not the biggest thing at my age, right? Being to other people in the content sphere, if they're just like maybe like 3 years younger than me, Dream SMP was the shit. It was the biggest thing that has ever happened, and there's nothing else in their mind frame of such a big content explosion in their mind because they weren't here when Minecraft first existed.
They don't know.
That
They don't know what like
sucks to say, but I've
2013,
been
2014 was like.
I've been here watching like fucking videos of like the fucking blue ass cube with the yellow like things and going, oh my god, the Nether reactor! I can't wait to get into the Nether reactor. And they don't understand like that was like the shit. Captain
Googling
Sparkles,
Herobrine
then
myths, listening to Minecraft parodies, going about your business, you know?
Like, and then seeing Dream SMP like blow up, I watched it for a bit and was like, this will suck. Then Technoblade got into it and I was like, never mind. Guess it kinda is alright, I guess. It's approachable now. But like I like had no interest at first at all. And then watching everyone go fucking feral over it was like, whoa. What the fuck's going on? This like everything written about this doesn't seem like it should work, but it does? Like that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that,
no,
like,
and
generational divide gets you.
I love hearing from the younger folks occasionally. We've had some of them even on the podcast, from like Willow and whatnot, who are like, yeah, Dream SMP is what Minecraft content is to some of those kids. Like some of the kids like getting into Minecraft content now is just like they're building on the frame of exclusively Dream SMP, and it is obvious. But it's good to have a point of reference, and it's the first thing where I look back and I go, these darn kids, you know, because I didn't watch it while it was running because I already like, all right, I might be the original Dream hater. I might be the guy. I am a D1 Dream hater, I'll tell you. Every day of the week from like mid 2019 to now, I have despised that man, and I'm glad everybody's finally caught up with me. Although, I can't help but say, some content creators around Dream, there was this thing where even after the allegations came out about Dream, a lot of content creators either didn't want to say anything negative about him, or were outright positive about the guy still, like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing about, like, the Dream SMP's influence on the Minecraft community that I don't like, is that it's made a lot of people spineless, and a lot of people unwilling to call their favorite creator out when they do something a little sketch, you know?
My problem is this, right? At the end of the day, the government allegations are incorrect, right? But I still won't stand by, right, that he is an absolute fucking creep and a weirdo, in my personal opinion. He gives me the same vibes as one of, not to go too deep, but he gives me the same vibes as one of my abusers did, in terms of just, like, the way they are so manipulative and the way they speak. Just gives me the exact same vibes. And so I've always, like, I was very, 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 very loud about saying, yeah, this guy's definitely like a fucking pedophile or some shit. Because I just was so set on that ideal, because he just followed the exact same trends that people who had abused me before. And I was like, there's no way. Like, I don't need evidence for this guy. This is it. And when evidence came out that he wasn't, I was like, right, we can't call him this. We can, however, call him a fucking weirdo, because that is totally legal and does not mean any allegations or anything like that. There's no evidence that needs to be set to say, this guy's a fucking weirdo at the end of the day, right?
No, yeah, absolutely. I initially thought he was annoying, and then, like, the more and more I've heard about this guy, the false stuff is whatever, but, like, the truest thing, like, all the true stuff that I hear about him is, and like the stuff that we have evidence for, is enough for me to just like, ugh. I always just thought he was annoying because he like walks around like he's hot shit, you know, and always has, and I've just found him kind of annoying generally. But you know,
I think also there's a topic to be had about as well of how fucking people just don't understand the content sphere. People think that Minecraft is dying right now, and I have a really stark message to send to you. It forever has been dying. Minecraft has been on a decline since its fucking existence. That's how Minecraft functions.
Yeah.
Right? And
it
then
has
what
peaks
happens,
and valleys, yeah.
Yeah, what happens is there'll be something that explodes content-wise. So Manhunts was the big explosion. Not Dream SMP. Manhunts was the big content explosion. Because people couldn't recreate Dream SMP. It didn't fucking succeed. Nothing that recreates Dream SMP will succeed. It will always fail at the end of the day, because it cannot be Dream SMP. Because Dream SMP was a failure in itself. It fucking sucked, and it caused so much mental harm for everyone who played in it. So, no, there can't be another Dream SMP. It fucking will implode every single time. Because it will only function if we're all assholes, and no one wants to watch that. At the end of the day, what does explode though was the manhunt. That was the big fucking explosion. But people don't realize as well, the hardcore community right now is also having its own like mini explosion. The amount of times I get hardcore videos of like this some guy who has clearly spent like 4 to 8 months, either he's cheated it in, and I don't mean that as a disrespect thing. I mean he has to have either cheated it in, or he has generally spent 7 months doing this one thing and made it into like a 15-minute video. And I have to just sit there as a hardcore player and go, I hate this content because it's just like getting rid of how long this guy must have spent doing this shit. Like,
Yeah.
it totally takes away from it. But that's like, those are getting millions of views every single time they come out. And they go onto my feed all the fucking time, right? That kind of shit has been going off really well. But people don't want to talk about that because they just think, oh, Minecraft is dying and Minecraft is not having like a resurgence ever. Minecraft just kind of sucks right now. And people forget Minecraft works and doesn't ever die because we have that many fucking communities in this bitch. It's not okay. There's the PvP community, there's the parkour community, you have the roleplay community, and you've got the hardcore community, and then you've just got builders. And then there's the hermits that are like a combination of them all and just kind of vibe in the corner and just exist for time as well. Right?
Yeah.
But all of those communities will have bits where it'll like this bit is going to now be recommended on YouTube up the wazoo and is going to have like an absolute peak, and then they'll have another bit that's like, oh, this one's going to have a really big downfall for a bit. Right now, the roleplay community is kind of in the shitter, right? Because Dream SMP died, no one cares about roleplay right now. It's just not of interest. But they're forgetting there's other part of Minecraft that is a peak. The event scene is dying a little bit, but then we have stuff like the parkour scene in itself is peaking really well, especially since there was controversial change lately that made a lot of people go over to parkour to learn about the controversial changes themselves because people didn't understand what the problem was if you couldn't move diagonally. Because it doesn't sound like a problem until you listen to this guy who's talking about, oh, well, if I'm trying to do like a triple neo and stuff like that, I kind of need to like walk off in this way, and you just listen to a different language spelled onto you. Like it's a whole new language that gets woven into, and I think people forget just how expansive Minecraft is. So we'll never ever truly die as a content because you can do anything, and that's the joys of sandbox games. That's exactly what they do. But people just don't understand that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Minecraft is a canvas to be painted on, and people will continue to paint on it forever to some extent. It's
always so funny to me to hear how many people will go on about Minecraft dying, but forgetting that the main people who consume Minecraft aren't even the people who watch this fucking content in the first place. We are the odd one out. The main people who play Minecraft are the casuals who like maybe play an hour at most. Like
the good old 2-week Minecraft phase with the friend group, you know. Yeah, no, it's typically those kinds of people.
Those are the people that actually make the numbers of Minecraft. But people are like, oh my god, the like odd 1,000 people who actually care about this game to the stage it's their personality no longer care about the game. Thus, it must die. Put it in the grave.
Yeah, kill it. Send it to hell.
I think that Minecraft will never die because it's not a video game, it's a medium, in my opinion.
Yes.
It can be both. It's just like I've always seen it as like a medium for creativity more than anything else because it's so accessible. I've had this obsession since I was a wee lad about going out into the world and being able to create virtual spaces, whether it be levels for video games, social areas, or like little Blender, like one screenshot renders of an area. I want to be able to make a digital space that someone can walk around in and experience. And just about every way of doing that involves learning 7 different skill sets except for sandbox games. And Minecraft is absolute king for sandbox games. And so, like, you know, there's a reason it's top of the pile. There's a reason that it, like, is the way that it is, because it's simply and intuitively just throws you out there.
A good example of really putting people's minds about how Minecraft won't go anywhere. Balloons, tower defense. That game still exists. Like, it's still, it thrives.
I played it recently.
It's getting a DLC that's gonna make, like, essentially a fucking roguelike out of it. Like, you don't...
Oh, shit.
Wait, really?
It is...
That's sick. I didn't know about that.
Cool actually.
I got DM'd about it. It's
not different as
I'll
hell.
start doing balloon streams.
Sure.
but like
Either way.
that game was just a Flashpoint game, and still exists to this day, because there is a fan base behind it. As long as there is a fan base behind a game will still exist. Just because it's not getting 15 million views, which I don't think people seem to realize how fucking crazy that number is, that doesn't mean it's dead by any means. Minecraft
and that's
videos
another
can still
thing.
hit 1 to 5 million views. That is so impressive, and I don't think people seem to understand how crazy that is. The fact that I
is
could
insane.
upload and have just a video that pops off that hard is fucking wild, and that's why people keep gambling on Minecraft and be like, maybe I'll be the next Minecraft streamer.
Yeah, I don't know of a single other niche on the internet where a game, like gaming niche at least, where a game video, the most popular video of one of the most popular games at the time in 2011 is shadowed, just absolutely dwarfed by literally any upload of that game today. And that has more to do with the way like view counts work and the amount of people that are on the internet, you know, between those times, and like how much it's like expanded and inflated. But that's still insane. Any other game, pretty much, with I think there are a few notable exceptions. I think Skyrim is still doing all right. I don't know how it's doing for content. Like, I don't know how content creators who do mostly Skyrim are doing right now.
Doug, I don't hear about it. Doug, I always hear about him doing stupid Skyrim stuff, but I think that's just more, it's because it's Doug.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, when I do hear about Skyrim, I hear about, like, Skyrim mods, or someone doing a fun challenge with Skyrim, or ordering a pizza through Skyrim, and it's all... It makes that sort of, like, brotherly link to me between it and Minecraft, where it's just, like, all of Minecraft's contemporaries that released, like, got a full release in 2011 are all dead, except for the ones that people have come up with creative things to do in. Those are the only ones, those are the only games that live forever. Doesn't matter how good your narrative is, doesn't matter how good your gameplay is. Can people use it to tell a story? Can people use it to do something interesting that you wouldn't expect them to do with it? And I think that's really the mark of Minecraft. And it's also like, there's also this whole other angle where people are talking about how like the update cycle works and how disappointed they are. And sometimes I think about it, and I think about how spoiled the Minecraft community is as a whole.
They really are.
Because it's like, name me another game from that time. Name me another game that began its development over a decade ago and still sees reliable weekly updates. Granted, they're snapshots, but they're still weekly content drops. Every single Wednesday. Sometimes more than one.
I want people to become rhythm gamers just for like a week so they can realize how fucking greedy rhythm game players are. I don't mean this as disrespect. I love playing rhythm games, right? But I want them to find out, like, they really love an artist and find out that if you want to play that artist on like 5 other rhythm games, you're gonna pay like $5.99 of every single fucking time just to play that guy. Like, I love Camellia. Camellia is a very big rhythm game. He's honestly like the founder of rhythm games, right? If there's a rhythm game, Camelia's music is somewhere on that fucking rhythm game, and you cannot escape him, right? And
got
it will
a couple
always
tracks
be like
on
one
Beat
of the,
Saber,
yeah, he'll always be like one of the hardest charts because he does really high BPM charts and stuff like that, right? If you want to play his music though, you probably have to pay to play it, because how rhythm games work is that there's DLCs that probably give you about 5 to 10 songs, and they charge you an insane amount just to be able to play those 5 to 10 songs. And that's it.
$70, 10 songs.
Yeah,
$7
like,
a song. You were paying like worse. You were paying better prices on the iPod, dude.
Yeah, like,
no, you weren't. Don't lie to yourself. Don't pretend that single tracks weren't $5 on iTunes.
Single tracks were $2.99, you dickhead.
They weren't always $2.99. Go grab you like a
most of them
contemporary artist. They're fucking inflated out of hell, dude. Like, iTunes used to be insane. You want me to pay $1 for a ringtone? Good God. ridiculous.
I think I've paid like
know,
up to two for a ringtone, dude.
I make like hour value judgments. That's why I don't buy a lot of that stuff, and I don't pirate it either. For the record, because support the artist, especially when possible. I only steal from major corporations. But there's a special kind of like disgust I'm filled with, even like not at the person charging me, because it's like it's a valid price to pay. I understand what goes into it, but I just can't bring myself to. I can't bring myself to buy something like a song or a movie, because it's just like this is either this like for songs this is 3 to 6 minutes of my life tops, or alternatively it will be like, or you can watch a movie and that's like 2 hours for $4. Really, kind of a lot.
Yeah,
you know.
I've watched. I'm a movie critic. I'd like to say in my hobby. Again, when I was in college, I studied like a shit ton of media and stuff. And obviously, when you're doing videography, one of the most important things to learn is your target audience. So you learn a bit too much nerdy ass
stuff at some point.
Yeah, we talk a bit too much about like nerdy ass shit in college, essentially. And in my opinion, it does end up like making you ruin movies, because what happens is instead of me watching a movie and get to enjoy it, I don't analyze the fuck of why this movie makes sense, or I end up figuring out the ending plot due to just really cool movie magic shit, like the camera angles or some shit, right? You can set like one of the easier ones to explain is if you set the camera angle to like 45 degrees on someone, you're usually showing they're not to be trusted or they're psychotic or anything like that, right? Yes, the Dutch angle.
Dutch angle moment.
If you set that up, you're trying to give the narrative that this person is not what they seem, or they're like a bad person, right? If you pay attention to that shit 24/7, you find that movies actually usually tell you this shit really early on. And it's part of the movie magic that a normal watcher wouldn't realize, but like a movie critic will, yes, and so it was very obvious to tell you what the killer was, but it was very enjoyable to watch the adventure as the other people, not so fortunate as I to know what a Dutch angle looks like, realize just quite what's going on, you know? And that kind of ruins movies for me. So I'm now at the point where unless I'm watching it in cinema with like my partner or anything like that, I just really don't want to fucking watch movies anymore. We watched the FNAF movie, and the whole time I was like, I can't believe this is an actual fucking movie that I'm witnessing, because it's so dog shit it comes back to being the best thing I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah, no, I think that I don't watch movies with a lot of people who enjoy movies. I love talking about movies with people who like movies. I don't like watching them with them, though, because...
Oh, that's so fair.
You end up on a couch in the middle of a Lord of the Rings marathon, and you hear somebody lean over and go, hey, did you know that when Aragorn kicks the helmet? And like I get like this insane urge to just strangle somebody. I don't know what it is.
Kill him.
Because it's just like there's a lot of times where like and it's never for the good stuff. It's never for the good stuff either. It's like sometimes it's a good anecdote, but like vast majority of the time it's like a shot from Breaking Bad of like pouring liquid into a tub and somebody going, oh, you could tell that they put like a glass sheet in for the bottom of the tub and then they put a camera under it to film upward. And it's like, yes, I'm aware. I'm aware they didn't just cover the camera in like 10 pounds of sulfuric acid, dude. I'm certain of that.
I'm the worst, but like instead of being like movies and stuff, because I'm not into movies and like content creation. Like I'm only here because of guns.
Like, you know how awful
I'm
it is?
about guns.
Like, Jed's a continuity error guy too. He'll spot a continuity error and will not let you forget it. Going back to Breaking Bad, my husband did this thing a while back when I was like, oh, you haven't seen Breaking Bad? You have to see it. It's one of the best TV series ever produced, and I genuinely believe that. I know I sound like a sheep when I say it because everybody says that, but everybody says sometimes classics are classics for a reason. Damn it. But like obviously because of how like child actors are so heavily protected in Hollywood, and the younger they get, the more that applies. When it comes to like labor laws and whatnot.
Terrible with this.
He's the worst about like a dramatic scene is happening where they're kidnapping a baby and it's like, that's a different baby from the last shot. That one's a doll even. Oh, there's a different baby again, you can tell. And it's just like, dude, I know. I would have never noticed without you pointing it out. I would have never like thought about it in the moment. I get it. I don't want to hear about how that mug was turned left in like the last shot, and now that we've cut to the wide, it's turned right. I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
I feel terrible about like I feel terrible about the gun things, but it's so just like I'll see it and somebody will like pull out a Glock and it will make that gun noise that's always been in movies. It is a 4-click. You can hear it and it goes click 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 click. And that specific noise comes from a single action army Colt style revolver that came from Western movies. That trope of the click came from Western movies. So now we're just using it for fucking anything, even if it doesn't have a hammer.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm just angry.
That's so fair. This will take a lot of people who are actually from my country back, but like I'm from the UK, so usually we don't know shit about the guns, right? We're very scared of them. But I was actually in air cadets when I was younger, so I actually tended to guns. I learned how to clean the gun, I learned how to use it and stuff like that. I've used a number 8 rifle. And then I've used the semi-auto rifle and realized how fucking different it is to actually utilize them and how much you can shred someone instantaneously with semi-auto.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you don't have aim, you can fucking annihilate them, man. You do not need aim with a semi-auto, man. It's crazy. Cause like the main issue that I had is, believe it or not, I don't have many guns, like as in terms of muscles. I am a very weak little guy. Who could believe the person sitting on a laptop 24/7 wouldn't have muscles? So a number 8 rifle in its whole fucking variety is so heavy, and sometimes I'll look at someone who is like really small and frail, pick up a gun and be like, there's no way this fucking child would actually be able to aim with it. Fuck off. Like, I've tried and I know how hard it is. That child right now, oh my god, when she shot that gun, oh my god, her head would be fucking flying off with the fucking knob back. Like I see that all the time. And my friends would be like, bro, what is your deal? Like, it's not that deep. I'm like, no, it is. It's that deep. It's now my problem. Like, I'm gonna make it all your problem.
Gosh, me and Jed have a running bit about characters firing like large caliber revolvers one-handed, because that happens all the time in media, and we're just immediately yep, everything past your first metacarpal, dust, all of them, all the bones in your hand.
Yeah,
say goodbye.
Because like I have a 44 for bear defense, and I'm a very strong big guy. For bear defense, to some degree, bears, alligators, fucking anything. I don't know.
You've explained on the show before multiple times. I'm sure people are aware.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But like, holy shit. I when I was a kid, my father was a military man, so he's very into guns. And I shot a 44 for the first time when I was like 10. And like, I shot it once and I put the revolver down and I went, that's too much power for me. I had like an adrenaline surge from that. And now I'm an adult and I'm like, I see like a kid in a cartoon hold like a Smith & Wesson 29 and it's like, dude, you're gonna die. You cannot shoot that thing. You're gonna die, dude.
Yeah, no. It was The Walking Dead that really pissed me off at some point, and I said I couldn't watch it because
we're going in a Judith direction.
Yeah, I saw like a child
Judith
with a gun, and
with
they were
her
like just shooting it, and I was like, "There's no way." Also, like, okay, if we're gonna really pin it, I'm gonna be fucking for real. 90% of the people who say they're surviving a zombie apocalypse wouldn't actually be able to shoot the gun at the end of the day, because zombies are not gonna look like green little fucking lizard people when they wander up to us. They're gonna look like real fucking people, and that's gonna hit so hard mentally. You're not gonna be able to do it. So many of you might be able to shoot 1 or 2, but then you'll break and be like, holy shit, I killed a real fucking human being. Dead or alive, they're fucking dead. And you're just gonna crumble and die. Like, it's at the end of the day, right? And I hate that so many people think they'll survive because, like, oh, well, it's so easy. They're not actually alive anymore. It's like, you don't realize how fucking crazy it is. I ended up shredding my lieutenant's leg by accident. We were, as I said, I've been in the air cadets, and we had a shooting range. My gun ended up misfiring because I fucked up the safety when I was doing it. It's a hazard that happens when you're teaching like 16-year-olds how to fire
negligent
arms, right?
Gotta be a nerve-wracking position. to be
Holy
the
shit.
guy who's like in a room full of 16-year-olds with loaded guns who don't know how to operate them properly yet.
So his job essentially to look over and make sure it looked right. Everything looked right on my hand, but what they didn't know when they passed by me was essentially the thing was basically undoing itself ever so slowly because I didn't pull it up properly back or some shit. It's an old weapon at the end of the day that they had gave me. It wasn't like good thing it wasn't the fucking semi-auto. He wouldn't have a fucking leg
it's not
left.
fresh off the line or anything, you know.
But it ended up like just shooting him basically, and it grazed him. But obviously, grazing is fucking horrific. It hurts like a bitch. Everyone gets sent back home, and I'm just sitting there like, I've just fucking killed him. He's fucking dead. And it was fine. He came out like the next week, telling me that it was really fucking funny. He can't wait to tell people in the pubs how funny it is that a 16-year-old tried to kill him. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm like really sorry. And he's just like, this is the best thing that's happened since week. I didn't get discharged, but I got the money for a discharge. I'm fucking loaded right now.
That's the funniest part about like gun culture differences is that like I first picked up a gun when I was 5 years old, and I was taught like gun safety from that age to the point where I hadn't picked up a gun for a decade. And when I like my grandfather had passed away and I was finally of age to receive his gun, I like picked it up and I did like a full safety check and everything just like without even thinking about it. And then I put the gun back down and I went, holy shit, I was like taught to do this from like a baby age. I'm doing this like second nature. What the hell?
Yeah. Now I would never make that kind of mistake, but just it was like my second time holding a gun ever, so it's just one of those things where as well as the fact of I don't think I ever should have held that gun anyway because I just did not have the muscle strength to deal with it. We had sandbags to try and help me with the gun, and it still wasn't enough. I didn't hit like any targets when I was using that gun. I was so god awful with my aim. Because it was just so heavy. Essentially, I couldn't do it. So yeah, it was just like really shit. In that sense, but like, it's hearing people talk about like, oh, you can do this. You're like, no, you can. I'm telling you, deadpan, you fucking suck at it. You're not
a gun on its own. Nobody on the other end of it, like even that is like difficult to begin with. So if you've never shot a weapon before, it's going to be a hard time for you, no matter what, you know.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how it was in my experience, growing up.
I know it is.
In that it's very difficult to like get that first few out of the way, and it's difficult in the same way that like popping a balloon is difficult in my opinion. Of just like I'm gonna squeeze the trigger, and there's gonna be a very loud noise, and that target over there is gonna have a hole in it, you know, or I'll miss horribly. But still.
Yeah, it's the apprehension. On the same vein, I did archery and absolutely had no fucking problems because I had shot a gun. So me pulling back an arrow didn't feel like anything. Meanwhile, there was like a kid behind me who was squirming of like, not actually thinking the target was gonna get hurt, but they were like very scared about it in the same sense. And I was like, man, I'm fucked up mentally, aren't I? Like, you're just at a moment, just like, what the fuck, man?
I had a different issue with archery because we had like an archery course in high school that was like a part of the like gym curriculum, and it's just like it was like a mandated thing that you had to do unless you had a note, then you could sit at. But I just actively refused from minute one. I was like, nope, I'm gonna hurt myself or somebody else. I'm not fucking touching that, you know. And it wasn't even the idea of like shooting someone that bothered me or like looking like a fool for like doing it wrong, as much as just like the idea. Okay, so I've seen what happens when like a tensioned wire or rope breaks and hits somebody in the face, and it's not pretty. And that the idea of that happening was enough that I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not about to get fucking whiplash for a high school A.
Oh man.
No, I'm sitting this one out. You guys have fun.
It's why one of my favorite scenes ever is that scene from Brave where she like rips her dress and everything to get the shot and ends up like grazing her face from how strong the arrow is flying. It is the most rawest animation shot. Then the rest of the movie is dog shit. But that one shot is so
it has its moments.
I hate
You
it.
have a
I hear-
hatred towards
okay,
Brave.
I have a hatred. I'm a Scottish person, and I got so excited hearing that there was going to be a Disney Scottish fucking movie. I was like, oh my god, this is going to be peak my culture
Oh, you
in a movie.
overhyped it.
And no, I didn't overhype it. I just didn't expect a bare fucking plot in the middle of my fucking movie, and them to go, oh well, it's to do with Celtic stuff. No, it's not. What fucking Celtic shit is this? Fuck right
The Bears
off,
kind of
man.
sucked. I'll be honest
The
with you. I thought the same
Bear-
thing. The Bears were
The Bear
definitely
plot-
some executive somewhere needed a cute
Nope.
animal in the movie.
Okay, no. Do you want to hear what happened? Okay,
How did it
I'm gonna
happen?
go. Okay,
I don't know
so
anything
there
about
was
the
a
production of Brave.
Oh, I went into this so hard. Okay, this was like one of my media things that I did for like a PowerPoint for school, right? There was a woman who
boy.
was working on Brave, and Disney got rid of her and replaced her with a man. And you know what that man said? Gender has nothing
Bears are
to
cool.
do with the movie of Brave. Yeah, let that sink in.
Oh.
The movie that is about a
Oh,
woman not
man.
wanting to be a princess, but instead be a tomboy, has nothing to do with gender. It has everything to do with gender.
Oh. They
And
put a director in
Merida-
charge that didn't understand the fucking script.
And
That
so
makes
he
sense,
made
yeah.
a little bit
That
of
makes sense,
changes
yeah.
to the script. Obviously, we have no clue what exactly was changed. The bear plot was originally in the script before he touched it. But I'm assuming, in my mind, it is completely different than what he has originally made it. We don't know exactly what happened to that script. What we do know is the whole tapestry bit about Merida fucking slicing the tapestry and then looking at her mum horrified as she realized she is fucked up was in. The bow scene was the woman. Like, everything that was perfectly describing gender issues of
Because
the
that makes
society.
sense to me now. Because I've only seen Brave a couple times, but both times, like, I missed out on it when I was a kid just because, like, I used to watch, like, Disney Channel and shit, and you'd get ads for shit like that constantly, and it's like, I don't really care. I don't really care to see this one. It looks cool. I'll see it whenever it, like, is out, but, like, I don't really care to go to the theater and watch it, you know? But, like, I saw it for the first time as an adult, and I was like, man, this seems kind of disjointed. Like, there are, like, 5 good moments in this movie, and the rest of it's just alright. You know? So that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Trying to get told. The one plot was Merida fighting her birthright of being a woman, essentially. That is the plot. I see Merida just fighting her birthright of being a princess and actually just not wanting to fuck with that shit, man. And then you have the other plot that is related to this magic spell bear bullshit. I think there was a way to handle it, and it was just not handled. What happened was 2 plots existed, 2 plots were to be ended, and it just made the entire movie suck ass because 2 plots were going rogue and had to be ended off, and they both ended miserably, without much of a thought. Like, if you really think about it, the ending of Merida is Merida getting everything she wanted without learning a single fucking thing, but just feeling sad because she was traumatized a little bit.
Yeah.
Merida actually doesn't learn anything in that movie. Nothing that Merida did was punished in that movie. And that's wild to think about it, considering as Merida literally fucking made her mom look like a laughingstock in front of, like, 3 different clans, which is a big fucking deal at the time. Like, oh my god. But nothing happens, Merida gets her way, and the movie sees that as a good thing, rather than showing that the 2 women had the right ideals, and there is a balance between the 2 of them. There's a point where women should be able to do what they want to do in life without society pushing their normality, but there's also a part where sometimes you have to do what society dictates to you if it is for a moral good thing. I.e., Merida, at the end of the day, is a princess ruling over, like, really powerful clans, so her learning how to be a queen is probably pretty important, you know? Obviously they didn't actually speak of it as queen and king and princesses, but I'm dumbing it down because obviously Scottish hierarchy is a bit
You gotta
fucking
abridge
weird.
a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, it's so frustrating. Brave was, like, one of my favorite films, like, with the idea of, like, concept-wise, and then learning how shitly handled it was, because he gave it to another director who had no idea what the fuck he was talking about with Brave, was so frustrating. Hearing those words, Brave is not about gender, was the most, like, oh, so this is where everything went wrong, okay. Because I agree, some things should not be about gender, okay? They don't need to be about anything to do with gender. But Brave was the perfect movie, in my opinion, to talk about gender. And if it was done correctly, holy shit, the new age that a lot of kids have found out they're non-binary or trans, and that Brave would be such a fucking, like, insane hit for them to realize that. Like, I don't
Yeah.
need, like, obviously we've always had trans people, but it's a lot more that we're figuring it out thanks to the internet and having a lot of topics that can be discussed, right? I wouldn't know I was trans if it wasn't for the fact the media is out there for me to learn what the fuck that word even means. Like, right now in Scotland, there is no way to figure out that word if it wasn't for internet, essentially. And it was thanks to the internet I figured it out. And I feel like books helped me really picture it. I realized I hate female protagonists because most female protagonists was like, I'm so hot and sexy and cool, and I can't wait to get laid with this really hot and sexy man. And I was like, wow, I just want to cry while reading this book. And I'd be like, I want this book. And they're like, are you sure you want to read this? This is actually like something else. And it'd be like the grueling story of all hell. It'd be so manly and shit. And I'm like, yeah, this fucking rocks. This rocks. But I had no interest in any of like the female, like any object that's supposed to be advertised to a female. I realized quite quickly I hated 90% of it, and there's a small 10% that I'll adore and make my entire personality. Like I love magical girls. That is like a very female centric thing. It is advertised towards females at the end of the day. That is something that I'll adore and I'll always like love. But like perfume and shit, I feel like, bro, who gives a fuck? At the end of the day, I still smell like body odor. That's right, we done it!
Guys. We're headed back to the cologne guys, dude.
Holy shit, what a perfect way to wrap back around.
We've just had, like, I've been panicking as we've been talking about Brave, because I've been having a real good conversation about Brave and gender roles, and I looked down and I was like, oh, we're 1 minute over, that's okay. And then I look back down and we're nearly 5 over, and I was like, okay, this has to we gotta wrap around at some point. And thank goodness you brought it back to perfume and cologne. I'm
psychic.
No, no, this has been a really good episode. Let me get us a little bit out of here. Yeah, no, we're gonna come to a close. We're gonna come to a close on our episode. I'm sorry, you just did like a really weird movement. You like leaned on like an axis for a second, and then like it took my entire
like every joint on your character like fucking
I've done
freaked
that
out
7 times. Every time I went to take a sip of my juice, that's what happens. It's my little. It doesn't know what to do because like obviously my hands can't do everything.
Out of tracking range. That's funny. But yeah, no, that's the show, everybody. I hope you had a good time. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. You can find us and more about the show in the description via our card page. It's a very lovely card page. Jed put it together. It's pretty good. It's got links to both of the host socials. It's got links to the show and where you can find it every 3 p.m. Every Sunday at 3 p.m. Not every 3 p.m. Good God. But every Sunday at 3 p.m. That's when you can watch the show. It's a premiere on YouTube, and so you can like tune into the live chat and hang out with folks. I'm flubbing this outro today. I'll tell you, absolutely flouting it. Sakura, let's see if you can do any better. Where can people find you? What can we put?
I have a very simple link. If you just type SakuraRadio.live straight into the Google up or whatever else, it links you straight to my link tree. It is a domain that I own that takes you straight to my link tree. My link tree has my Twitter that doesn't get fucking used. My Blue Sky that's way more active. There's also an About Me that'll tell you a little bit more if you want to know about me. And also, guess I'm going green. Jesus fucking Christ! What the fuck?
Holy shit, we're green.
Oh my god.
It's over.
My VTuber
it's all over.
It's the
It's the green. The green is taking you.
There we go. My Twitch and my VOD channel is all there as well. As Vox said, I don't have anything but Twitch, so you can find me there, or you can hear my rambling on Blue Sky. If you want to hear more about gender roles of Brave, I guess.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you're gonna go on a special like Brave gender role rant.
All right, yeah, we're gonna go back on the Brave rant as our outro bit. We do like a fade out outro bit every episode. We'll say our goodbyes and then just like rattle off as much as you can. All right. Goodbye, everybody. See you around.
Bye. We'll see you around. It was really nice having time with you. Well, I don't know. Pressure. I mean,
say shit about Brave.
Quick.
I mean, like, Brave was like a really good movie, but then they decided, Bear Plot and the Big